Lord, we calling, 'cause the time is tough. Hurricane Melissa, she a rage outside, but you are the shelter where we can hide. The lightning flash and the thunder roll, but you're still the master of every soul. We lift our eyes to the hill and pray, Lord have mercy, keep us today. Lord have mercy in the storm tonight. Cover your people in your holy light. Melissa coming down, but we won't fear, 'cause we know, sweet Jesus, you're near. Hold we close through the pouring rain. Speak your peace and still the pain. Lord have mercy, keep we strong. Through this storm we'll sing your song. Roof might shake and the water rise, but faith still shine in our eyes. Every heart cry, oh Lord, be near. We trust in you, we have no fear. You calm the sea in Galilee, so calm this one for we plead. If you can still this storm back then, you can do it once more again. Lord have mercy in the storm tonight. Cover your people in your holy light. Melissa coming down, but we won't fear, 'cause we know, sweet Jesus, you're near. Hold we close through the pouring rain. Speak your peace and still the pain. Lord have mercy, keep we strong. Through this storm we'll sing your song. Jah, you reign above the thunder sound. Your mercy flow and trouble come down. Protect the children, the old, the weak. Your strength we search, it's you we seek. If the wind must blow, let your will be done. But shine through darkness with your sun. After the storm, let the rainbow show that you still love with. This we know. Lord have mercy in the storm tonight. Cover your people in your holy light. Melissa coming down, but we won't fear, 'cause we know, sweet Jesus, you're near. Hold we close through the pouring rain. Speak your peace and still the pain. Lord have mercy, keep we strong. Through this storm we'll sing your song. Oh Lord, keep Jamaica in your hand. Every sea, every shore, every land. Melissa may come, but you still reign. Peace in the tempest, mercy in the rain.
good evening, loyal sons and daughters, all. What a wonderful evening this is. Yes, we are praying for Jamaica. We are praying for Haiti. We are praying for Cuba. We're praying for Bahamas, and we are here in Barbados, and we are thankful. We are thankful that we are alive. We have our roof over our heads. Our electricity is on. We have Wi-Fi. There's so much to be thankful. We have our lives. Guys, we had a probably might have had a warm meal this evening. There are so many within these different countries, Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, Bahamas, who can't have a warm bed to sleep in tonight, who might still be in the shelters, might have to eat something from a tin, some corned beef or some tuna, something cold. They might not be able to even have a refrigerator. They can't refrigerate any meats or anything. Their windows gone, doors gone. But we are here and we have much to be thankful for. I just wanted to read a little bit from the Jamaica Gleaner as to what occurred in Jamaica, so that we have a sense of what's happening. I know for sure that this storm has gone on to Haiti, and we don't hear much about Haiti, but Haiti also has been ravaged by the storm. In fact, it's been reported that Haiti has lost 20 persons. We are yet to get the numbers for Jamaica. The last time I checked, it was about three or four, but I can't find it anywhere. I know that there are some areas in Jamaica that the rescuers have not been able to get to as yet. There are places in, I believe, is Manchester that they're not able to get to. They're still doing rescue missions, so they have not been able to give a full death toll. But surely, we are grateful that the numbers are not high as what they could have been. Yes. So let's just read from the Gleaner, because, as you know, on social media, we're going to have reports from all kinds of different places, and so I wanted to get as an accurate report as possible from the Jamaica Gleaner. If Dave could make it a little larger for us so I could see if possible. Guys, in the meantime, let me welcome you. Let me just go ahead and welcome as many as Dave works on that. The one that says ravaged is the one that we're going to try to read. um, so let's just welcome Teroni. Let's welcome Lucinda, Judy Jilks, Monica, Marva Hunt, Jefferson Sobers. Good evening. We are alive and we are well. We want to give God thanks, folks. Diana Husbands, Angela Burke. Listen, we are grateful to be here. We are grateful to be here, and we pray. I am a big girl for all of these other countries. CG, we pray for them. Kami, pray for them. I'm grateful that all my family members, that they're well. I don't know, Shirley, if anybody listened to me. Do you have relatives in Jamaica? Did you get to hear from them as yet? Tammy, good evening. Teroni, good evening. All of you who sent good wishes to me and prayers, I really appreciate all of it. Shirley, good evening. Marcia Miller, good evening. Good evening, Sharon Innes, good evening to every single one of you. Terry, Judith and Clark, good evening. Teroni, thank you, Teroni, for what you sent to me. As you would have seen, some of what you sent to me, I was able to show at the beginning of the program. Thank you for your care. And all of you who reached out to me, I tell you, I feel the Bajan love. Oh boy, I tell you, I feel the Bajan love, and I have to say thank you. I got up this morning, Sandra, and it wasn't a nice feeling. I said my prayers to Jamaica, everything, but my heart was heavy. Humble soul, my heart was heavy. Sandra Watkins, Beverly Prescott. But I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful. for what you guys have been able to do in just calling and praying and just being there for me and just sending me information. Oh my goodness. Well, according to the Jamaica Gleaner, today, October 29th, 2025, the island is declared disaster zone. Jamaica has been declared a disaster zone after record-breaking storm West hits hardest. Hurricane Melissa tore through Jamaica's western parishes on Tuesday, leaving behind widespread destruction, catastrophic flooding, and crippling infrastructure damage in what officials are calling the most powerful storm ever to hit the island. Making landfall near New Hope, Westmoreland, around noon as Category 5 hurricane Melissa dumped more than 30 inches of rain across sections of the island. Ferocious winds toppled power lines, uprooted trees, and ripped roofs from homes and public buildings, damaged at least 4 hospitals in its wake. By late Tuesday, Prime Minister Dr. Holness declared Jamaica a disaster area under the Disaster Risk Management Act, while Commerce Minister Senator Aubin Hill, invoking Section 81 of the Trade Act, moved to regulate trade, supplies, and prices amid the crisis. The government's first priority is always the safety and well-being of every Jamaican, Holness said in a statement issued to the media. We must also continue proactively to maintain stability, protect consumers, and prevent any exploitation at a time when citizens are securing food, water, and supplies. He said these orders give the government the tools to continue managing its response to Hurricane Melissa. More than 500,000 households were left without electricity as the storm moved northward, while nearly 6,000 people sought refuge in shelters across the island, many rescued in last-minute operations by emergency teams. In Mandeville, Manchester, floodwaters blocked the main gate of the Mandeville Regional Hospital, while sections of the Black River Hospital in St. Elizabeth and Savannah Lamar Public General Hospital in Westmoreland lost their roofs. Health Minister Dr. Kristen Tufton confirmed additional damage to the nurses' quarters at Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James and parts of the Noel Holmes Hospital in Hanover. In Black River, St. Elizabeth, entire communities were shredded by Melissa's destructive winds. The devastation followed warnings from Evan Thompson, principal director, that the area was at risk of severe storm surge, with the eye of the system at that time projected to pass over it. Listen, guys, it's a long article, and but I think we got the picture. We got the picture. Hundreds of homes have been, ravished. Roofs are gone. People are, I don't know if Dave could just run a little bit of that, what you played at the beginning, Dave. That would be wonderful. You have something to play, Dave? Go ahead. Yes, thank you. Okay, I understand. Yeah, so Dave is showing you a bit of it there. You're seeing a bit of it there on the screen, those of you who have just joined. And what is amazing with all of this is that the death toll has been very low. Let me tell you, that's a lot to give God thanks for, when you see this level of devastation. And we didn't have a lot of people who lost their lives. The good thing about this as well is that Kingston and St. Andrew, they are pretty much intact. They received a lot of rain, but not a lot of wind, because the hurricane, Category 5 Melissa, hit mainly the western part of Jamaica. And so we know that they still will be able to get food supplies in through Kingston Harbor. They should be able to have, food supplied. All kinds of medical supplies are still able to come in. Isn't God good? Isn't God good, guys? We have to thank God for every single thing that has occurred, right? Now we know that everybody's focused on Jamaica, but we need to also be focused on Cuba and on Haiti. Okay. By the time it got to Haiti, it became a storm, a deadly storm, and more than 20 people died in Haiti after a river flooded by Melissa burst its banks. The local mayor said 4 bodies were recovered in Jamaica's badly hit St. Elizabeth Parish, and another 3 died on the island during the storm preparations. 1 person died in the Dominican Republic, right? And we don't know of any deaths in Bahamas. So already, so that has just come into me, guys. So we have so far there are seven persons who've died so far in Jamaica, 1 in the Dominican Republic, 20 in Haiti. We don't know as yet how many have died in Cuba. Okay. Okay, in Cuba, they're saying that around 140,000 people were cut off by rising river levels. By the time it got to Bahamas, it was a Category 1 hurricane. By the time it got to Bahamas, so Jamaica got the worst of it, but so far Haiti has had the most in terms of the death toll. The highest death toll is actually in Haiti. So, folks, this is a sad time for us here in the Caribbean. Yes, but I am looking on the good side of it. I am much better than I was this morning. I'm looking on the good side of it, in that, yes, a lot of people lost their homes, lots of people lost their buildings, their, whether it's their shops, etc. They're flooded out, but they have their life today. Jamaica, it's a large population of people, and to know that only 7 so far that have been confirmed dead through the because of the Category 5 hurricane. Let me tell you, that is a blessing. Thankful to everybody who prayed. Lives were saved and buildings can be rebuilt, and we can put back in the roof and the window and the door and the floor and the clothes. We can get those things back, but we can't get back our lives. You can go ahead and play that, Dave. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank God, first of all, for sparing our lives. Thank God. We have been hit hard in the West, and very hard. I've been hit hard myself. It's an experience that I would never want to live through ever again, but it's a part of life. I know for most of you I can't say anything encouraging today, because most of your roof are gone and most of you are homeless also. My roof is also gone. But I give God thanks. We're going to rebuild. And we're going to rebuild stronger and rebuild better. And that's what I would want to leave with you this morning. But it's bad. It's bad. It's very bad. All right, so let's start helping our neighbors. Let's start pulling things together. As soon as the roads are clear, I will get to you. God is good. Thank you.
Yes, God is good. God is good. He is the NP for that constituency or that community, and he's NP Ian Hughes. and he's lost his roof as well, and some other, material things. But as he said, he has his life. It is more of a financial loss for Jamaica, more of a financial loss than a high death toll. We grieve with Haiti, who's lost 20 persons, and I want to keep remembering Haiti because they're just as a part of the Caribbean as Bahamas is. And if we're going to grieve for Jamaica, we're going to grieve for Cuba, and we're going to grieve for Haiti as well, who've lost 20 persons because the river broke its bank and washed away some people there um, in Haiti. So, folks, I know some of you are asking about how you can assist Jamaica. I've been trying to find that out as well. Again, I reached out to Jambar, which is the Barbadians living in Jamaica, Jamaicans living in Barbados, I should say. And I received a number tonight, and so I know that they're working on, they've set up I'm going to send this to Dave now, that Dave can put it up somewhere in the program. Dave, if you can remove the telephone number from there, and we're just going to put up the website and where donations of cash or kind may be made. All right. A preliminary needs list is also published at that site. So, and as the week goes on, I will be able to put stuff on my Facebook page. I get more information, I will do a quick, live on the channel so that you can know, because Barbadians are very kind people, and so many of you have reached out to me. They love. Early this morning, one of our viewers, she's 70 something, and I think it was probably after 5 or after 6, she called me, and I made sure I answered because I knew why she was calling. She wanted to know if I was okay and if my family was okay, and we had just finished praying for them. And I was just sitting and just was feeling really sad to see the place torn up like that. But at least my heart was happy that we weren't hearing any, that many deaths at the time. Now we know that there are 7 confirmed deaths at this time in Jamaica, 20 in Haiti, 1 in Dominican Republic, and we just hope that this thing stops. Okay. So again, thanks to all the well wishes, and be careful where you're going to send anything to. Always, you have the number. You reach out to me if you see anything online, any place online, any link, and you want to donate. Check with me first, okay? 236-7000, 236-7000. You can always check with me, and I will be able to verify for you whether those are. I will do my best to find out if they're legitimate, links, and because you will get some scamming in this time as well. So be careful, Barbadians. Once again, the love that you share with others, I tell you, it will come back to you. The prayers that you have given, it will come back to you. I want to especially thank that loyal opposition who went, her and her husband, and took care of a young lady today who was reportedly suicidal, didn't have much to eat. She was calling out to the welfare department. Nobody was responding. She's sick at home. And someone reached out to us, and thankfully, I couldn't go to do anything today, but I was able to call somebody from within, close to where I live in St. Philip. And you're listening, you know who you are, who did that act of kindness and went to see that young lady today. She called, but I was getting ready to go on the show. I'll give her a call. As I said to that lady, good evening. Who is speaking? Dave? Okay, like a call, something came through there. I'm not sure what that was about. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. But I want to say thank you to that person who, when I was emotionally drained today, I told them, this is a big one. I wouldn't be able to call this person. Yeah, I have so much going on with the Jamaica stuff and wanting to make sure my family were okay. And this person in St. Philip called that young lady who was suicidal and worked with her. And we'll continue working with her tomorrow, make sure she gets some counseling. She got some food today. And I want to say thank you to that person. You know, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Sweet Barbadians. Give yourselves a hand, man. Kind to people. Wonderful people. You know, folks, but you know, we here on the Marcia Week show, we're going to try to go for the news behind the news, right? And I couldn't help but notice some of the some strange things with this storm. Anybody else out there thought that the storm was a little strange? Anybody? I thought that the storm was quite unusual. And so you know, one of my Jamaican, one second. Okay. We had something coming through there. Okay, so we got that sorted out. Apologies for that again. Um, yes, I was saying that I couldn't help but notice how different this storm was. And so a Jamaican friend of mine sent me you know, a video this evening, and since then other people, I think two or three others, sent it to me. And I then started to do my own research from about 11 o'clock this evening, and it's just amazing some things that I found about weather wars. Anybody ever heard about weather wars? So tonight we're looking at, are the skies being used for control? Notice it's a question before anybody starts to say that I'm bringing conspiracy theories, okay? I am asking some questions tonight. Honestly, I don't know the answer. I had a discussion with one of my sons that's into science, and he's like, "Mommy, according to science," da, 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 da. I said, "Listen, son, I am only asking questions, all right? I am only asking questions." So we want to ask those questions tonight, right? So, folks, what I found out today is that the use of weather modification for military purposes, using cloud seeding, etc., that there's historical precedents for it. Did you all know that? That the weather was used for military purposes? Anybody? I see Mr. Pedro Jamat. He knows so much. He come to the front of the class. Now, there is something called Operation Popeye. Operation Popeye. Now, I had not known about this at all. And so this was new and very fascinating to me. 1967 to 1972 by the U.S. This was done by the U.S. in the Vietnam War, where what they did, they attempted to extend the monsoon season by cloud seeding to disrupt enemy supply routes. Now, anybody knows what the monsoon season is? Again, that's something I learned today, and I wanted to share that with you all. So the monsoon season is a specific time. It's a rainy season in Vietnam. Okay. And so what the U.S. wanted to do was to extend that period, right? So the objective was to increase the rainfall by 30 to 45 days annually, right? And by doing this, they make the trails muddy. They will flood rivers and cause landslides. And so the U.S., their hope was to disrupt the North Vietnamese army supplies and to slow down the troop movement. Okay, so they basically was trying to slow down this army, the North Vietnamese army, and this was done in secrecy. Of course, it was highly classified, the program. But there's a journalist who exposed it in 1971. All right, so anybody out there knew of this before, apart from Pedro? I don't know if anything is wrong, I don't know if anything is wrong. I am saying that this is something that actually occurred in 1967 to 1972. They did this, okay? America did this, okay? And it part my imagination, because the Caribbean zone is seeming to get it, we're going into war, it appears. So I'm just asking questions. I know science people who are into science out there will tell me because the waters are warmer, etc., which we're going to go into that, and that could be the reason, as well as could it be because it was done before Operation Popeye in Vietnam? Is it possible that it could be something being done now? However, in 1977, the Convention on the Prohibition of Military or any other hostile use of environmental modification techniques was adopted. So, and which prohibits the use of weather modification for hostile military purposes. So they prohibited it in 1977 after the journalist broke the news. Okay. Well, there is research on weather modification, geoengineering, methods of such as cloud seeding, hail suppression. I didn't even know about hail, where they try to suppress hail, fog manipulation. All of these things are being researched. And the problem is that when man starts to research things, right, and they realize they got a little power and they can do a little something with the weather, they can modify the weather, I wonder what they would do. Now, would you believe the idea of weaponizing weather or weather as a strategic tool? This is something that is actually discussed in academic, military, and policy circles. This is not just a far-fetched idea, because remember I said once you have human beings researching something and they think they have a little power and they can use that power, then the possibilities, because wickedness is bound up in the heart of man, right? And so, right? Academics are studying this thing, this idea, the military studying it, and it's in policy circles. For example, there are texts that contemplate weather control or modification to influence battles or strategic geo-environmental outcomes. Strategic geo-environmental outcomes. So they are, at the moment, according to them, they are just studying this. They're contemplating it. But sometimes when they tell you they're contemplating it is when they're already doing it or done a long time ago. Some open source documents identify the possibility of such techniques, thought not verifying large scale deployment, right? Not verifying large scale deployment. So though they are looking at the possibility, they're saying that, it's not something that is actually done. So I'm presenting it to you, asking questions. All right. So yes, there has been use of weather modification for strategic or military purposes, right? Yes, there's a theoretical possibility that broader structures might be linked in alternative narratives about control. Now, This is a part that I want us to think about. Now, I'm going to stretch this a little bit. I'm going to stretch this to I'm looking at control. Can anybody identify all the different ways that we have seen in the last, I would say 4 or 5 years, that it would seem like they are trying to control the world, control populations? Anybody? Any thoughts there? No? I thought about the digital ID. I thought about the digital ID. Why I thought about that is, can you imagine, say for example, in Jamaica, people are left without supplies, they need aid, humanitarian aid. What if, just what if, the aid becomes linked to data that you have to release, or that to IDs? I just wondered. I mean, think about Barbados. The digital ID is said to will be linked, according to the Prime Minister, us receiving services, social services. That's a fact. That's what the Prime Minister said, that eventually it will, your ID, your digital ID will need to be pinned. So I am just asking, and I want us, as I said, this segment, I'm not coming to you with any facts per se more than the historical data, but I'm wondering, could the crisis be created so that we are in a position where, in order to get the aid, as we were told in Barbados, that the social services will be linked to pinning the ID? Can you imagine the possibility of that? Anybody? Am I going a little far-fetched? Thank you, Mr. Strickland. How Stephen Knight, sorry. It's not, yeah, I don't think it's that far-fetched. I don't think it's that far-fetched. Guys, I think all of this is, there's a connection with all of what's happening right now in the Caribbean. The whole thing, could the whole thing be leading to control? Just a thought. Somebody wrote here, digital currency and sole removal of money is a way that governments around the world can block your digital money and you won't be able to buy anything. So we know that part, digital island boy, but we want to put it in the context of humanitarian crisis. Yeah? The humanitarian crisis, okay? So stay with me there, all right? Stay with me there. Now, let me share with you some other things that I found. Folks, are you sharing up the live? Are you sharing the live? Take a moment and share. I'm gonna drop some other things on you to think about and to research for yourself. All right. I see Dave was telling me something in the comment section. Dave, in our chat, Dave, can you clarify what you want me to know about that? Okay. Now, there are 3 articles that I want to share with you quickly. One is about far-right militia targets U.S. military over baseless hurricane weapon claims, right? And if Dave can put that up. Now, this is a kind of out there claim that these people who are called Veterans on Patrol, VOP militia, right? And so they started this claim online. And this some people call it a conspiracy theory. And what they're really saying is that They've been spreading the belief that Hurricane Helene, you remember Hurricane Helene that had hit the US? Their belief is that it was intentionally created or directed using weather weapon technology by the US military. They use Telegram channels and lots of other social media channels to claim that the US military manipulates storms. They sprayed poisons and deployed directed energy weapons, claiming radar and weather control systems are military assets. That's what they're claiming. This is shown up to be a conspiracy theory. Nobody's been able as yet to prove them right or wrong. Okay, but it seemed a little out there. But I still wanted to share it with you because we have seen over the last probably 5 years where conspiracy theories become fact. All right. We saw a lot of that with the vaccines, didn't we? There's another article was published in Wired in 2000, and it's an article says activate cloud shield. This article discusses a 1996 U.S. Air Force Commission study, which is a weather as a force multiplier, owning the weather in 2025. So this is a study that the U.S. Air Force, according to this article, they're saying that, that they did a study, and the study was called Weather as a Force Multiplier. Weather as a Force Multiplier, owning the weather in 2025. They speculated that by 2025, weather modification like cloud seeding, jet stream manipulation could be militarized. Tied up my tongue. Militarized. Okay. So cloud seeding, jet streaming manipulation can be used in war, is what they're saying. And you can write it down and check it out for yourself. This is the 1996 U.S. Air Force Commission study entitled Weather as a Force Multiplier, Owning the Weather in 2025. This study, they're claiming, outlines experimental ideas such as using satellites or microwaves to heat storms, or applying chemical monolayers to ocean surfaces to suppress hurricane formation. So they can either, create storms or they can suppress storms, according to the study by the U.S. Air Force. Okay, 1996 study. Go and look it up yourself. The authors note major scientific, ethical, and technical hurdles that they might have to deal with: unpredictability of weather systems, massive energy requirements, and the risk of unintended consequences. So those are some of the hurdles that they think that they will have. Remember, they're researching. Okay. Then there is another article by Vanity Fair, and this was in 2008, called Stealing Weather. And this might, not interest you a lot, but it's something that might come in handy. This piece examines weather modification efforts globally, such as China's heavy cloud seeding operations to stimulate precipitation. And this is in Xinjiang, a place called Xinjiang. They want to stimulate precipitation. In China, it traces the origins of cloud seeding experiments. This particular one that they're doing is called Stealing Weather, and highlights how governments and militaries once seriously considered manipulating weather as a tool of power. Right? Now, I think it's important to know that China has the world's largest cloud seeding operation. China. China. All right, I'm emphasizing that, all right, because a lot of times we are focused on the US, right? We're focused on the US and we're not looking at some of the, these other places. So China, they have the largest cloud seeding operation, right, in the world, and they use it for different things, for agriculture, drought relief, and sometimes hail suppression. But we don't know who oversees these programs, who owns the technology. What if private or military actors use it beyond their stated purpose? Yes? What if? We saw where the Operation Popeye confirmed as a real military use of weather modification, right? We see the U.S. Air Force document owning the weather in 2025 is envisioning using atmospheric manipulation as a force multiplier. And Russian and Chinese military researchers have discussed similar strategies for decades. Here's the thing, guys. It's been done before. The question is, what stops it from being done again? In secret, or it might be done under another name. Right? Now, we have to remember that when weather is controlled, what else are we controlling? When weather is controlled, what else are we controlling? Anybody? We're controlling food, right? When weather is controlled, we can control food. You understand what's going on? Yeah. This is very, very, very serious, guys. I know this is not salacious, and it's not, you're thinking it might not have anything to do with us, but I remember one of the things we do on here is education, right? So you're going to get some education, motivation, mobilization, and agitation, all right? So coming up, we're going to be talking about the Caribbean as a zone of peace. And then at the end of the program, we're going to go to some local issues and talk about Mr. Lashley. We're going back to Michael Lashley. We have to go back to Michael Lashley. But in the meantime, we're going to get some education, right? Yes, let's learn some things together. Let's learn some things together, folks. Yeah? So, you control the weather, you control food supply, you control migration, and you control disaster response. Yes, because you hold it now, right? You hold the handle. Could this become a tool of global leverage in a climate crisis world? This whole thing about climate change, could we be held at ransom? Could this become a tool of global leverage in a climate crisis world? Listen, we could have come on here and shown you what it's doing in Haiti, and we just talk about what has happened. We are taking this conversation a bit further. All right? We're looking further. That's what we do here on the Marcia Week Show. So stay with me, guys. Somebody wanted to know if the ID, it was rejected in Jamaica twice. It went to court because the opposition in Jamaica fought against the digital ID, went to court, and it's thrown out. There's no digital ID in Jamaica at the moment. It was deemed unconstitutional in Jamaica. Yes? Each crisis, think about them, climate, health, economic, has led to more data collection and centralization. For those people in Mandeville, St. Thomas, and all these parishes in the western zone of Jamaica, to get aid, they would have to go to it would have to be centralized first, and then it goes out, right? So they have to collect all of that data, right? So whenever there's a crisis, you have more data collection and more centralization, right? Now we talk about the digital IDs. What about the 15-minute cities? Listen, folks, it's like these people planning for us, you know. They're supposed to be efficient and sustainable. And they're going to sell that to us and say, listen, in the time of crisis, the digital IDs are going, if you have your digital ID, we're going to be able to rescue you. We're going to be able to bring food for you. They're going to present this as efficient and it's sustainable, right? But is it a whole move towards monitoring us, our movement and our consumption? Are they going to use this this environment through this environmental control for energy? What if they start to ration energy? How much electricity you have and when you have it? Like when we were in Cuba, they got Wi-Fi certain times of the day, right? What about climate lockdowns? What if they start with that? You remember COVID? Disaster tracking. You understand? So we could be going into this whole thing of control. If weather can be influenced, people, loyal opposition, Barbados, everybody who's watching, if weather can be influenced and data can track every moment, think about it, if it is possible to influence weather, and we saw through the Popeye military expedition there in Vietnam in the 70s, late 60s, 70s, we know that weather can be influenced. So if weather can be influenced and data can track every moment, who really controls the environment in which we live? I'll ask that again. If weather can be influenced and data can track every movement, who really controls the environment in which we live? This Hurricane Melissa had some interesting characteristics. Unusual rapid intensification. There are lots of people online are talking about, there's a debate going on about potential human interference. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I am just sharing that with you, that people are thinking that it seems unusual, right? Those who work with the weather, they attribute it, though, to warm Atlantic waters and low wind shear. So scientifically, this is what they're saying. The reason for this rapid intensification of Melissa and, and the way it sat over Jamaica, they're saying that it's because of warm Atlantic waters and low wind shear. But skeptics note the satellite patterns, right? Radar, the certain types of radar signatures and satellite patterns. That's what they're saying. So we're seeing the difference there between scientific explanation and public distrust. All right, so there's a difference. Even if hurricanes aren't man-made, our leaders lack transparency. Their lack of transparency creates the space for these questions to arise. So whether they're natural or engineered storms, they reveal some kind of truth, right? We cannot control the sky, but we can demand honesty from those who do. Will we get it though? This tonight is not about fear. It's about vigilance, because an uninformed people are the easiest to control. And that's why I took the time to go through this tonight Because when we're uninformed, it's easier to for us to be controlled. At least, even if you don't understand everything I'm saying, you're catching something, right? You're catching something in what I'm saying here tonight. Yes? Do you know that in the 2008 to present, China's has expanded massive cloud seeding efforts. And some of their cloud seeding efforts in China has covered entire regions of China. Just so that you know, that's another fun fact to know. In the 2020s, more than 50 nations report active weather modification programs. This is in the 2020s, right? More than 50 nations report active weather modification programs. Is it all for agriculture? There's a quote that says, attributed to Lyndon B. Johnson in 1962, "He who controls the weather controls the world." A lot to think about, right? Pedro says China is the good guys and US is the bad ones. Really now? Really? China has the largest cloud seeding operation in the entire world. It's been alleged that that's where COVID came from. I don't know. That is what they say from a lab over there, financed by the US. Lots to think about. Trying to read some of your. Tanisha says, this hurricane will force Jamaica to get the digital ID for sure because they would need help. The evil forces are at work. That means the leaders are slave masters. The only thing with Jamaica is that the law, unless they're going to go back and change the law, but that it was their digital ID could not, they couldn't get it set up because it was deemed as unconstitutional in Jamaica. Here in Barbados, I saw an article that they're getting ready to push the digital ID again here in Barbados. That article came out, I think, 2 days ago. Isn't it interesting? It's coming now. I just want us to think a little bit. I want to throw out something I shared with Dave this evening before I close this segment. We're going to close that in 2 or 3 minutes. Rickford Burke is to be joining me. And I don't know if Dave can make sure he gives him a call for me. Rickford Burke. He's supposed to be joining me at 8 p.m. But while we wait on Rickford, I think he's listening. He said, just got in. Okay, I'll wait for you, Rickford. Okay, we'll wait for you. Okay, he said it, so he's listening to me. It's live TV, guys. All right. So I want to ask you something. Tell me if I'm far-fetched here, guys. I want to know if I'm far-fetched. Tanisha, you thought wrong. The PM said go back, and we've been listen. That's the thing, we keep repeating this on the show, but you are all not listening all the time. Sometimes you're all typing too much, so you miss the part where, remember, the PM says, well, you can go along now, but eventually you all need them IDs. You remember? Well, they're coming for you now with that. They're coming for you now with them. Yeah? Now, I want to ask you something. We talk about control, right? there's this geopolitics that is happening right now in this region. There's a fight for this region, and where I'm segueing into the next segment, right? And I want to ask you, who are the powers fighting for this Western Hemisphere? What are the powers that are fighting for this hemisphere, for this here, the Caribbean region, which is part of the Western Hemisphere? Who is fighting? Who are the powers? What are the sides? The colonial masters, they're fighting for us right now, right? They're fighting for us. Yeah? Thank you, Pedro. China and USA. And when you say China, you're going to put China and Russia together and USA. They are fighting for control of this region. I know a lot of you think that it's oil. It's not oil. One of these nights, the same way that I did this teaching or sharing the information, because I'm learning as well, I'm going to share something with you. A video that I shared on this show probably about 3-4 years ago. Okay? These people here that you see on here, let me tell you, this has nothing to do with oil. Nothing to do with minerals. Nothing to do with Maduro. It's about control of this region. China has come into the region and have done a lot for the Caribbean, and so a lot of the countries are turning to China. And so when you hear they talk, we're a zone of peace. Huh? We're going to show you a little later in the program. They know, a lot of our leaders, they know what they're doing as well. They have those that you hear crying out about this zone of peace. A lot of them know quietly how they're aligned, or how they have to be aligned because of loans and what China has done for them. America is coming back to claim back this region. That's it. They're coming to claim back this region. Geopolitics. Nothing but no oil. I know that's what everybody's saying. Right? But I can't do it tonight, but I promise you I'm going to show you. And you can see, you can determine for yourself. Yeah? So, my question is this, Pedro, tracking with me. My question is this. Jamaica is destroyed. They said billions of dollars they need. Jamaica's issue, they have just at the moment lost 7 lives. They have a financial issue on their hand. Yes? It's a financial crisis Jamaica is in. Could this crisis have been created to determine who is going to come in to rescue? Remember what we talked about control? I see Rickford Burke. Rickford, you can go ahead and share. You can go ahead and send it out to your you can do a broadcast then. Yeah, he's got it. So Rickford Burke is going to be joining us very soon, and we're going to say some things on here tonight that are going to upset some of you all. You're going to upset, but we're not going to go surface. We're going to bring another view to you, okay, for you to consider. Who is going to rebuild Jamaica? Thank you, Dave. Who will rebuild Jamaica? Anybody thought about that? Jamaica was just coming out of the clutches of the IMF. Stephen, that's one of the reasons tears came to my eyes this morning, Stephen. Stephen, you're tracking with me, Stephen. Sharon is already choosing her colonizer. Sharon said, it ain't happening. U.S. self-destructing. China is the next superpower. So Sharon is choosing her colonizer. One of these here, Sharon decided who's going to colonize. Remember, look at this picture good. None of them look like us. None of them on here look like us. Back to the question, Dave. Who will rebuild? Who is going to rebuild Jamaica? I'm just asking, was Jamaica destroyed so that it can be rebuilt? Is this part of the war that we're involved in? That's where I brought in the whole, the weather, the war, the possibility, yes, of the weather wars. Remember? Listen to me. I am just asking you questions that came in my mind today. I see some of you choosing your colonizers already. You're choosing who your colonizer is going to be. Who will rebuild, or who will Jamaica choose to rebuild Jamaica? CARICOM in serious trouble. As far as I'm concerned, CARICOM is done. I want you to take a good look. A lot of you choosing sides, right? And Mr. Burke, let me know, Rickford Burke, let me know when you're ready. He's ready, right? No, not yet. Not yet. He's not ready yet. Listen, a lot of you are choosing sides. Tonight we're gonna say some things to you tonight about this zone of peace for you to think. A lot of you are not going to agree. That's okay. Yeah? Folks? Look, people are now going to say they're choosing Russia. I was talking to a young person. They said, well, it's better for us to go with China and Russia. We want to choose, we are going to choose our colonizers. None of them. In the English-speaking Caribbean, most of us are Afro-Caribbean people. We don't look like none of these on here. None of them, but they want to control this area. Why? Why they don't stay and control where they live? Why do we feel that we need to choose a side? So when they said China will rebuild Jamaica, will Jamaica be forced to choose, to come outright and choose? Correct now, Orlando Clark. Orlando, I didn't get to touch on that yet. So remember that the digital ID just failed in Jamaica. The digital ID just failed in Jamaica, I would say probably a week ago. We didn't even get to cover it. We were dealing with so many things locally that we didn't get to touch that. Right? Now, if Kingston become a smart city? Well, it will have to have digital ID. Oh my Lord. Listen to me, folks. We're now going to talk about the myth of the zone of peace. And Mr. Burke will just give me about half a minute. Folks, I say that you share this live. You're probably going to get a little upset tonight, but we want to ask and to bring some serious issues to you. Okay? We want to bring some serious issues to you tonight. So guys, share up the live. Share up the live and let us talk together tonight. Let us have a conversation tonight. Let us not go by what we are hearing out there. And ask some hard questions inside the chat as well. Go ahead and ask the hard questions. That's okay. Yeah, you don't have to agree. Okay, Mr. Burke is ready. Let me bring him right in the studio. Good night, Mr. Rickford Burke.
Good night to you. Welcome. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you, welcome. I'm so accustomed to hosting.
I know.
Thanks for having me. I know you're Jamaican. My heart goes out to the people of Jamaica at this point in time. I've been in touch with so many friends. I've been following the Prime Minister. I've seen his aerial view, his aerial video survey of the devastation, especially in St. Elizabeth. So we will be doing what we can here in the Caribbean diaspora to work with the Jamaican diaspora to help bring some relief to the Jamaican people.
Thank you so much, Rickford. Yes, I got up with my heart heavy, but let's not forget Haiti has lost 20 lives.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yes, in
my
Haiti.
heart goes out to them as well.
Yes, and one in Santo Domingo. And right now, it is, Bahamas. We don't know what's going to happen with Bahamas. We're hoping it went to a category 1 by the time it got to Bahamas. So let's hope that they did not have any lives lost at this time. Everybody, please share up this live. We are going to take you a place for you to think, right, Rickford? We just want people to think. So I've been talking for about an hour. So you made a post that I wasn't even aware of the post,
What post?
I wasn't aware of your post. I sent it back to you today. And
the op-ed.
Yes. And I said, wow, because this is something that I want to discuss. And so when I saw it this evening, I said, look at this. And that's what we're coming on here to discuss. It's almost like Providence. So what prompted you to write that post? And can you give us a summary? What prompted you to write the post? What is the name of the op-ed? Right? What's the title? Why did you do it? And give us a summary of it.
Well, the title of the op-ed, and thanks for having me. Good night to you, listeners. The title of the op-ed is "CARICOM leaders have been fretless in the face of continuous Venezuelan aggression, which has denied Guyana the benefits of the negotiatory zone of peace doctrine, which CARICOM leaders are promoting." Nugatory. I pronounced that word wrong just now. Now, the reason why they have me in front of all these lights, which are really hot, so I'm sweating.
It looks good though.
I hate it. So I have been listening intently to CARICOM leaders, Mayor MOTTLEY of Barbados, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, Ralph Gonsalves, more recently the Prime Minister of Dominica, all the CARICOM leaders commenting on the danger the United States military buildup in the Caribbean region, Caribbean/South American region, the danger it poses to what they're calling the region being a zone of peace, and the doctrine of non-intervention.
Yes.
And it annoyed me because I have been, for the longest while, saying that CARICOM leaders are anti-Guyanese. They're in bed with the government of Guyana. They have especially been showing deference to this PPP government. The CARICOM headquarters is in Guyana.
Right.
CARICOM pays a blind eye to extrajudicial killings in Guyana, which is against the CARICOM. Within CARICOM, there's like a human rights treaty. The title of it has escaped me. I remember.
For
Just
you.
now.
Keep going. I'll
Right.
check for you.
They have been ignoring a lack of good governance, ignoring an assault on democracy, an assault on free speech. The fact that the Guyanese government broke all sorts of international laws and sent people to my home in the United States to try to suppress my freedom of speech. All of that, CARICOM, as far as I'm concerned, supports. They support it because they support the government of Guyana. Unreservedly, they support the government of Guyana. In addition to that, while they claim to support the government of Guyana, they have been oxymoronic in their relationship with Guyana because they share a better relationship with the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. And why they share this better relationship with Nicolas Maduro? They want Venezuelan oil.
Yes.
And so they kiss ass with Maduro. And they demonstrate preferential treatment to Maduro over Guyana, which is a CARICOM country. Now, they have issued, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, 2 or 3 statements on Venezuelan aggression in Guyana. But they've been timid, reckless statements. It's like they don't care about the lives in Guyana that Maduro threatens. Now, Maduro has been following the history of Venezuelan president attacking Guyana, claiming 2/3 of our territory, even though that was settled since way back 1980. I don't remember 1889. Now, because of the constant threats and aggression, the Granger administration 5 years ago, or more than 5 years ago, during its tenure, took the matter to the International Court of Justice, and it's now sub judice in the International Court of Justice, which has consequently issued several interlocutory orders restraining Venezuela or prohibiting Venezuela from taking any action until it rules, maintaining the status quo and from taking any provocative actions. Venezuela is like, to hell with that. They're doing all sorts of things. They're infiltrating our borders, and they're sending people over the borders.
As you said that, we have a video, and I'm just asking Dave to show this video, and this is one of the reasons. This is a very serious thing that is happening in Guyana. In fact, you can correct me, but when my research says that there were three attacks, 3 bombings. And
well, it's far more than that. I'll come to that. Well, let me start with that. There have been at least 3 bombings in Guyana by Venezuelans. Most recently, last Saturday, where they killed a young girl. A bomb was thrown at a gas station, and in Georgetown, mobile gas station, it exploded, and a little girl was killed. She was there with her family. Before that, they threw a bomb at the East Ramveld police station, and there was another bombing. Even before that, or since this year began, Venezuelans have been killing Guyanese with impunity, trying to saw off their heads with chainsaws.
What?
Yeah, attacking people with axe, stabbing them up. They're very violent people.
Can we
And
show this
the
video?
government,
Show this video? A lot of people haven't seen this video. I hate to disrupt you, but a lot of people haven't. Dave, this is a video. We want to show the people this video where this guy, it's not alleged, but you know, he's going in to put the bomb down. Go ahead, Dave. Is this a video? Go ahead. It's not playing. Play it again for me, Dave. Play it again for me. Thank you. We want to show people this. This is some serious things happening here. Tell us about this incident, sir.
So, well, that's I'm going to come to that. There's some things built up to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, our defense force officers have been patrolling the Cayenne River, which is a river at the border between Guyana and Venezuela.
Yes.
3 times this year, Venezuelans have shot and seriously injured Guyanese soldiers. CARICOM has been silent.
They shot Guyanese soldiers.
Yeah, shot at Guyanese soldiers and injured them. As a matter of fact, a lieutenant was injured. He was shot to his head. They shot in February. It happened again in May, sorry. It happened again in May. I'm sure I am quoting correctly. Then in the Venezuelan naval warship in March, invaded Guyana's waters and pulled up to an Exxon Mobil floating production storage and offloading vessel. It's like the platform out there where the oil is being stored, produced and stored, and was telling them that they're in Venezuelan territory and was questioning them. There's a video, right? There's a video. I'm not sure if you ever saw that video.
No.
Where they're questioning. I'm going to send it to you shortly.
Yes, send it to us because we don't. You see, we don't know, and that is part of what is going on. We don't know what is happening with Guyana.
I'm going to send it to you right now.
Yes, somebody is even telling us. Yes, Adrian, I remember when they shot down the helicopter. And this is why programs like this, you're not going to hear this on mainstream media.
I sent it to you there. Well, I'm not sure that they shot down the helicopter. The official reports we got is that the helicopter crashed into a mountain. So I wouldn't consider that Venezuelan action. But all of these acts took place, and CARICOM said nothing. CARICOM said nothing. All they did was to arrange a very foolish meeting between the Venezuelan president and the president of Guyana. And I don't know why the president attended that meeting, where they came up with what is called an Argyle. It was in St. Vincent at Argyle Airport. And they came up with this Argyle Accord that said nothing. And Maduro breached every condition that they set out in that agreement. And we felt that the meeting should not have taken place because the International Court of Justice had not ruled, and the matter is sub judice before the International Court of Justice, and so the court has said that nothing should happen. The status quo should remain. I also thought that Guyana violated the International Court of Justice order by attending that meeting, but it was promoted by Mayor MOTTLEY and the Prime Minister of St. Vincent. Yeah. Now, immediately after that, Maduro violated all of that. Maduro passed some law saying Venezuela belonged to Escrima belonged to Guyana. He then set up some arrangement for them to have elections. Then he purportedly had these elections probably in his mind, and then appointed a set of governor was elected, and all this nonsense is going on. And then within a month of that agreement, Prime Minister Gonzalez appeared in Venezuela at
Yes.
a podium with Maduro. And decorated on that podium was, or part of the decoration of the podium, was a new Venezuela map with Essequibo, 2/3 of Guyana on it. And Gonzalez said nothing. He was there like a puppet of Maduro. And so they have been puppets of Maduro, CARICOM leaders, not saying anything, not condemning his aggression towards Guyana, not condemning his bellicose threats on Guyana, his warmongering, the shooting of our GDF officers. CARICOM has been silent. They're silent on. It's like to me they dislike Guyanese. CARICOM dislike Guyanese. They love the Guyana government because these people can patronize them and send curry roti and all sorts of nonsense for them, and they feel beholden to them, and now they feel that they could get oil money from them or whatever. So, but they hate the Guyanese people, or sorry, dislike the Guyanese people. That's what I'm feeling. So CARICOM has been silent in the face of Venezuelan aggression. And now let me say this. I see some people who have criticized the position I took in the op-ed have said that I'm supporting war in the region. Now, the region has been quiet when Venezuela has been raging war on Guyana for decades, but more it intensified within the last 5 years. And then this year it got worse. The US government has announced a policy and have been executing a policy where they have been bombing what is alleged to be drug boats. I happen to think that that's against international law and US law, but that's US policy and it's being executed. There's nothing we can do about that. That's CARICOM leaders can do about it, something about it, by demanding an audience with the United States government and collectively expressing their view. Now, we can't do anything about the US buildup in Venezuela either. In the Caribbean region, the military buildup. It's a menacing sight to see 2 aircraft carriers in the Caribbean region with dozens of, or a long fleet of dozens of other ships that are war armament, with a squadron of airplanes and helicopters. And it seems to me that a strike on Venezuela might be imminent. No,
what did we
I
say,
am not.
Rickford? Just to also add that I think yesterday evening it was reported that Russia now has, their warplane is, landed in Venezuela.
Right. So we're in the middle of what could become a geopolitical conflict between superpowers. And now my point is this: if there's going to be military intervention in Venezuela, then Venezuela must be, the military capability must be obliterated so that Venezuela can no longer threaten Guyana. I'm Guyanese. As a Guyanese, I'm thinking about Guyana's national interest. I don't care what CARICOM leaders think about their zone of peace. I support the concept of a zone of peace if it was equally promoted, or if there was some sort of
equity
exactly in how they're promoting this zone of peace. But it's not. They are talking about zone of peace because it affects them, and they could see their island nation being impacted by any potential US military intervention. They don't care about the harassment of Guyanese. They don't care about Venezuela's bellicose threats against Guyana. They don't care about the Venezuelan invasion and incursion into Guyana's territory. Right now, Venezuela is occupying part of Guyana's territory since 1966, the Ankoko Island, upon which they've built a base and they've built a bridge connecting the island to Venezuela. I'm not hearing CARICOM saying anything about that. I'm saying if the United States government intervenes in Venezuela, they must leave Venezuela in a state where it can no longer threaten Guyana. And they must be made to remove themselves from Guyana's territory and destroy the bridge that they've built from Ankoko to Venezuela. That's in Guyana's interest. That's not promoting war. That's ensuring the national security of my homeland. And that's why I wrote the article. And if CARICOM leaders are uncomfortable with us or me as a Guyanese promoting Guyanese national interests, then they could go skydiving.
Yeah. But as you talk about equity and in this zone of peace, because for me, I've been saying to Dave, every time I hear it, it just seems like it just seems very hypocritical, because I keep saying, so what about Guyana? What about all when that bully Maduro was bullying Guyana all these years? Where was CARICOM? As you said, they had
CARICOM was right there, but they don't feel that the zone of peace concept, or sorry, doctrine, must be equally applied and include Guyana, because Venezuela can give them oil. And as an incentive for their silence, to buy their silence, actually, Maduro has been playing with them with the Petro-Carib offer and sending them oil at a very reasonable cost. They can credit it and all of that. And because of that, they have been silent. They have compromised and sacrificed the unity of CARICOM at the altar of Venezuelan Petro-Carib oil. It is disgraceful. And I see the CARICOM leaders having a problem with the Prime Minister of Trinidad as well. I don't agree with all of the policies of the Prime Minister of Trinidad, but I am saying that each nation must ensure that their national interest is secured. Now, one may argue that in arguing for the zone of peace and in ignoring Venezuela's attacks on Guyana, CARICOM leaders are looking after their own national interest. But that might be so in terms of the oil, but they can get oil from other places. They also made a commitment to CARICOM, where an attack on one in CARICOM is supposed to be an attack on all. It's a union, right? So they're violating their commitment to CARICOM unity when they stay silent in the face of attacks on Guyana, and when they promote or demonstrate preferential treatment for Venezuela because they're getting Venezuelan oil for cheap. And I think as Guyanese, we must make sure that we speak out about CARICOM's lack of equity in their application of this supposed doctrine on the zone of peace. It is undermining CARICOM unity. And you see us speaking out as Guyanese, I'm speaking out as Guyanese, you see the Prime Minister of Trinidad speaking out, and CARICOM showing, and the other CARICOM leaders showing no empathy for the attacks on Guyana, for the importation of drugs and guns into Guyana and Trinidad. They're showing no empathy. They're not coming together to discuss it as a CARICOM strategy. These nations are left on their own while they go and play footsie with Maduro. It's disgraceful.
But let me just also share something. I want to bring Haiti in this as well, because you're talking about equity. But when you think about what has happened to Haiti, you realize that this whole zone of peace is really diplomatic PR. It's one big, it's not real. In 2014, what you talked about was a community of Latin American and Caribbean states. They developed this, they declared the region a zone of peace. That is when it happened. And what it was a commitment to non-intervention. Listen, Rickford and viewers, a commitment to non-intervention and peaceful coexistence, right? Now, one has to ask the question, what happened to Haiti? Didn't they allow the U.S. to go into Haiti just the other day through using Kenya?
Well, Haiti is a sad story. We in CARICOM must take collective responsibility for what has happened to Haiti. Now, it is because of Haiti that all of us are here as independent countries. All of our nations are there as independent countries. Haiti led the way in fighting to make sure that we end slavery in the region. They were the first nation to become independent in the hemisphere. And I think because of that leadership role that Haiti played, international forces have aligned themselves to make sure that Haiti remained impoverished. France raided all of the resources of Haiti for decades. And the other superpower, the West allowed Haiti to deteriorate into a failed state. And especially since President Moïse was assassinated, I don't think the world came together to ensure that they stand up a robust government in Haiti. It's like hands off Haiti. So it's a failed state. It is a governless state. You have gangs running all around the place. Every time a leader in Haiti comes up, they're either killed, arrested, or sanctioned or something. And CARICOM itself, they established a presidential council that has failed, that has basically collapsed. What needs to happen in Haiti is they need to work to make sure the institutions are functioning, not only law enforcement institutions, but institutions of the state that can promote a democracy, and then pave the way for new leaders to emerge, go to the people of Haiti, campaign, provide a stable and safe and secure environment for the people to then go to elections and transition to democratic government as soon as possible. That's what needs to happen. But they are allowing Haiti to remain governless.
Yeah. But I mean, even as we're talking about, thank you for that giving us that historic context there. But we're talking about the Caribbean is a zone of peace. Do you know that I found out today that over 3,000 people have been killed in Haiti and over 2,500 kidnapped just in 2024 alone,
Yes.
Yeah. And but we are saying, what I'm saying is that this zone of peace is something, I don't know, I mean, yes, it was something that we signed, but I find, in my opinion, just looking at Haiti, because sometimes you wonder if they even consider Haiti as part of CARICOM. You talk about that.
Like you said, it's platitude. It's just, as you say, for PR purposes. But
Yeah.
there's no functionality to it. There's nothing that CARICOM is doing to actually make that a reality. Because when you look at the areas of conflict that threatens this zone of peace, there's no collective CARICOM action. There's no collective CARICOM action on Venezuela. Nobody from CARICOM is doing shuttle diplomacy to make sure that, I'm not sure if you were able to get the video of the Venezuelan, I see a photo of it.
Yeah, Dave, he has it. Yeah, you can put it up for us, please. There's a video that I sent you. Okay, continue. We're going to get it.
Right. So there's no one doing diplomacy to make sure Venezuela cease what they're doing. There's no investigation by the international community to find out and prosecute who are the people that shot at and severely injured the Ghana Defense Force officers. There's no investigation on this ship invading Guyana's waters and going potentially to eject an Exxon Mobil floating facility in Guyana's waters. There's nothing CARICOM is doing. In Haiti, where there's conflict, where a president has been assassinated, where people are being kidnapped, gangs are killing people, there's no police force that's functioning, there's no army that's functioning, there's no parliament that's functioning, there's no government that's functioning. There's nothing CARICOM is doing. I mean, CARICOM sent a few leaders to go to bully the Haitian people and tell them, put this person, put this person, put this person. But what CARICOM has not done is work with the United Nations and work with the West. So as I said, stand up a government, support the smooth and proper functioning of institutions like a police force, a civil service, an elections commission, a boundary commission, a parliament, some sort of body that represents the voices of the people so that the country could transition to democracy. There's nothing going on there. And so CARICOM is useless. I believe if I were elected president of Guyana today, I would seriously consider removing Guyana from CARICOM. Now, look at the Caribbean Court of Justice. All of these CARICOM countries sat down and planned and put the mechanism in place for the CARICOM Court of Justice. But only 5 countries out of 15 subscribed to the court as a court, as an apex court, the court of last appeal. 5. I think Suriname, Guyana, St. Lucia, Barbados, and not even Trinidad. Not Belize, not even Trinidad. The Caribbean Court of Justice is in Trinidad. But Trinidad's final court of appeal is the Privy Council.
Really, I knew it's there. It's there. I didn't realize that they have not adopted it, and Jamaica didn't either. So I don't even know why. Oh my goodness! Let's get to this video, Dave. This is the video you wanted, Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Dave.
I need to know what is your IMO number. IMO number. Over. Do you copy Lisa Destiny?
Copied. I'll give you my IMO number shortly. Please go ahead with the next question.
So that's the Venezuelan warship captain question of the ExxonMobil floating facility.
So explain again. This is the Venezuelan.
No, the ship you're seeing is a Venezuelan warship in Guyana's waters, questioning the oil floating facility that Exxon has in Guyana's exclusive economic zone.
Wow. Okay. Continue, Dave.
My IMO number is 9175080.
What is the call sign? Over.
Call sign is Charlie 6 Bravo Foxtrot 5.
What is the flag of the ship? Over.
We are Bahamas.
What is the port of registry? Over.
Port of registry is Nassau.
Please tell me what is the name of the master and nationality. Over.
Question received. No comments from our side.
How many people do you have on board? Over.
Question received. No comments from our side.
What kind of ship are your ship? Over.
We are FPSO.
How long have you been here operating, Lisa Destiny? Over.
Question received. No comments from our side.
Okay, Lisa Destiny. Tell me your present geographical position, the coordinates, latitude and longitude. Over.
My latitude 08 degrees 00 minutes 39.2 north, and longitude 056 degrees 59 minutes 31.5 seconds west.
Okay, Lisa Destiny, according to your present geographical position, you are operating in the exclusive economic zone of Venezuela, Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, which is in litigation with Guyana. Your actions will be considered from Venezuela on the regulation of Venezuelan state. Do you copy that? Over.
Received. No comments.
What company authorized, granted the license to operate here? Over.
Your question received. No comments from our side.
Okay, Lisa Destiny. Let's go to channel 16. Stand by, 16 over.
Back to 16, standing by.
So there you go. That's a Venezuelan warship in Guyana's waters, questioning the captain of a vessel that produces, stores a floating facility. It's a massive ship, basically, that receives the oil that Exxon pumps and stores it and ships it off. And that's a serious breach. Incidents like those start wars.
Yes.
In other parts of the world. And CARICOM did nothing, not even a statement. They don't care about the well-being of Guyanese. Now, if suppose we had called in the US, because we can't fight Venezuela. Venezuelan army is about 500,000 people. Venezuela has millions of people. Guyana barely has 800,000 people. Our army is about 4,000 people. And if we had called in the US government to help us, and the US government came and blew that ship off out of the water, then CARICOM would jump, oh, we want this place to be a zone of peace. But at that point in time, Guyanese have a right to tell them, go to hell. Because they do not protect or even try to ensure fairness in the application of this so-called doctrine of zone of peace.
Zone of peace. Wow. Somebody says here, I'm just reading a couple of the comments. I hope I can find it because they believe that you guys are pushing war. They said here, I want to read this comment because there are some people who share this comment. And I said, we're going to have difference of opinion before we started. This person said, I remember when Guyana had nothing. Now you people discover oil, you're showing off. Don't bring war over oil in this region. We say peace. What do you say to that, sir?
That person is most ignorant and should be ashamed of themselves. What we're saying is that we don't want war, but we want a peace. We want peace in Guyana. We want our country to be secured. We want our national security to be assured. And we don't want Venezuela to attack our country and perpetrate this fraudulent claim about 3/4 of our country being Venezuelans. They want to come and fight us for 3/4 of our country.
Wow.
And that person has the audacity to tell us that we want to have war. I would say to that person, go skydiving.
3/4. So what is Guyana supposed to do? Because I'm saying, I hear everybody, there, it's almost like Maduro all of a sudden has been sanitized of all
exactly.
of them.
Exactly. They're sanitizing a butcher of South America.
Listen, someone just put up that Venezuela has contravened 4 or 5 declarations of the CELAC proclamation. CARICOM has been silent on these actions. However, we somehow, all of a sudden, he is this great man. And I mean, I'm not nothing. I'm not on anybody's side. I'm saying, let's be real. Let's be fair. Let's be equitable in what we're talking about. Let's be real. When we're talking about this zone of peace, how is Guyana supposed to exist? With trouble, this bully that they have. Now you have a greater bully coming in, and we're not going to take up for Venezuela, for Maduro?
Let me read you a passage from my op-ed. I said, as a Guyanese, I'm inclined to be impervious to and dismissive of the heads, Mr. CARICOM heads, self-serving, expedient, disingenuous, farcical rhetoric about the zone of peace. While I ordinarily firmly subscribe to the concept of the region being a zone of peace, I am not oblivious to the reality that Guyana has not been the beneficiary of such peace. I'm also a firm believer in the rule of law and the canons of the foundation of international law and fundamental human rights. Therefore, I contend that the blowing up of boats indiscriminately violates both international and US law And I said at some point in time, I believe that matter is going to go to the International Court of the U.S. Supreme Court. But let me say this. No one wants war in the region. Everyone wants peace except Maduro. It is Maduro who has been beckoning and inciting a war in the region because he wants to declare war on Guyana and seize 2/3 of our territory. He has had his laws amended to include our country's territory. He has had fake elections saying that his government now governs Essequibo. And I'm saying the chickens of war that he wanted have now come home to roost. Having said this, let me state unequivocally that Guyana must act in its own national and strategic interests. I believe that Venezuela's ability to attack or engage in further acts of aggression against Guyana must be completely obliterated without collateral harm to the Venezuelan people. A neutralized Venezuela assures Guyana's national security. And I said, Venezuela must be made to withdraw from Ancoco, which is our territory, and the bridge from Ancoco to Venezuela must be destroyed. Venezuela's ability to threaten its neighbors must be comprehensively neutralized. That's our national security interest.
Plain and simple.
Yes, no apologies.
Somebody said Rickford needs to understand that the claim that this claim isn't a Maduro's claim. It's a Venezuelan claim for more than 130 years. They are reminding you of that.
And let me remind them that decapitating Venezuela's military is not a Maduro decapitation. It is neutralizing the country's ability to attack Guyana in the future. Plain and simple. And I have no apologies to make. I am representing the interests of my country.
Yeah. And
suppose Maduro decides to to take half of Barbados, or half of Trinidad, or half of St. Vincent, or half of Jamaica. Well, Jamaicans say, oh, we don't want war, we want peace. Let Maduro go ahead and take it.
That would not be happening.
Exactly. So give me a break with this nonsense about it is not a Maduro's claim. Maduro right now is perpetrating a claim that Venezuelans manufactured for decades. And Maduro has taken the greatest step to realizing that manufactured claim by now including the part of the map, by having elections, by declaring that he has a governor governing Essequibo, by sending all these all these Venezuelans into Essequibo, and they're now, to me, acting as his agents, attempting to destabilize the country by throwing bombs at police stations and gas stations. And that person is telling me, but what? We want war? We want to defend our country. We want to protect our country. It's plain and simple.
Yeah. Somebody says, because I know you're not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump fan. I agree with some things that he does. I don't agree with, I'm not a fan of nobody, really. This person is saying, though, that they'll take 1,000 Maduros before I take one Trump. Mr. Rickford's opinion, in my opinion, is skewed. Both parties need to grow balls and discuss this situation peacefully once and for all. That's Maduro and Venezuela and Guyana. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, that person is obviously ignorant and living under a rock somewhere. We've said that Guyana has taken this matter to the International Court of Justice. And in spite of the court, the ICJ issuing a number of interlocutory orders restraining, prohibiting Venezuela or Guyana from taking any action to exacerbate tensions. Venezuela continued to defy the court. Venezuela, after the court issued those orders, held fake elections for a governor of Essequibo, produced a map annexing Essequibo and placing it on the Venezuelan map. Venezuelans dressed in civilian clothes have been shooting at Guyana Defense Force officers. Venezuelan Navy ships are patrolling the Coyote River on the Guyana side. They've had incursions on our territory. They've shot 3 times at our soldiers. severely injuring 5 in February. Then we had another incident again. And then in March, you just saw this ship. If that boat had fired on that floating storage vessel and hundreds of thousands of gallons of fuel began to leak out of that and pollute the entire Atlantic in that area, flowing into the Caribbean Sea. What would CARICOM leaders say? I mean, it's amazing that people can be so callous to make statements like that and talk about sit down and talk. Sit down and talk to whom? We just said that the CARICOM leaders had a fruitile accord where the CARICOM leaders brought the president of Guyana together, and I believe he should not have gone, but he went, I guess, in the interest of peace, and Maduro. And from the time they left there, Maduro violated everything that they signed to, including the fact that he issued a map, passed a law saying that Essequibo belongs to Venezuela and they will do everything to protect it. He had fake elections that elected a governor that he says would be imposed on Essequibo. What other part of the world is that acceptable? Now, the US government is not there to protect Guyana. The US government has its own interest. The United States policy is that they're there with military armament to fight drug trafficking gangs. Now, I don't know. They have the intelligence. They must know. So to me, the United States have an obligation to obey international law. But I am saying in the event the United States decide to strike Venezuela, they must decapitate their military and obliterate their ability to attack, threaten, and perpetrate aggression towards their neighbors, particularly Guyana. And I have no apologies to make for that.
Yeah. Somebody else come in, and the reason I'm reading the comments, guys, because I know that this position here of Mr. Rickford Burke, an attorney at law in the US, that it's not something that is popular right now, but I believe it's very honest. The facts are there. If you just look at the facts and remove the emotions, that we are not. I know for one, I'm not trying to say that Trump either is any saint. I am just thinking of the beloved country. I've grown to love Guyana through Mr. Rickford Burke and all my friends, and I've noticed that Guyana has been, viewers almost seen as a stepchild. They're in the CARICOM's office is there, but they don't look about anything for Guyana. They don't. I mean, you have a whole set of Afro-Guyanese being marginalized, treated, all kinds of different ways. And CARICOM I have not heard CARICOM said anything about Black Guyanese.
They don't care. They don't care.
I'm bringing that in. It's not necessarily anything with a zone of peace, but if it were to erupt in a race war, we would not have a zone of peace. So they needed, CARICOM really needed to try to resolve or get involved somehow in that, and to bring some kind of understanding. You had the death squad, how many persons who have died, and while America was doing some kind of investigation in it, CARICOM did nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
Marcy, let me say this. I see some people who are so gullible, bringing in Trump. This has nothing to do with Trump. I have not advocated any policy for Trump. I have not advocated any U.S. policy. I am advocating for the national security interest of Guyana. And I am saying Venezuela has taken significant steps to invade Guyana. They have thousands of soldiers on our borders that they have amassed since early this year, since last year, thousands. They placed a whole lot of tanks onto Ankoko, which is the island between in the Kaina River between Guyana. It's split right down the middle. They've taken over the island, even though it's Guyana's territory. They have military hardware there. They could attack Guyana at any time. We don't have the might. Guyana cannot engage in a war with Venezuela. Venezuela has 75 warships, warplanes, dozens of warships. They're getting assistance from Iran, China, and Russia. Guyana has 2 helicopters, a plane, an army plane, and 4,000 army officers. How are we going to fight a country like that? What are we supposed to do? Roll over and play dead and allow all Guyanese to become Venezuelans? So don't lecture us about peace. We know what it is to stare down the barrel of Venezuelan tanks and guns every day. Our young men and women, young men that I know, face down Venezuelan bullets every day. We don't need lectures from people from the Caribbean to tell us about our safety. We have to make sure that our country and our nation is safe. The most sacred responsibility of a government is the protection of its people. Our government does not have the ability to protect its people if Venezuela were to attack us. We have to rely on other countries more powerful than Venezuela to protect us. And it is in that context, I am saying that if the United States engaged in any sort of conflict with Venezuela, whether it's a negotiated solution or whether it's a military solution, the United States must make sure that Guyana is protected and Venezuela has no ability to threaten us ever again.
Yes, yes. Well, I all I know is my people. I know what you're hearing. You're seeing on social media. You're hearing them in the media itself, traditional media. I understand that, but I want to say to us as Caribbean people, this issue is complex. It is very complex. There are lots of nuances to it. There's a lot to consider. And a lot of times when you hear the popular beliefs and the popular narratives, a lot of times, Mr. Burke, it's not that. Go and dig a little deeper. Maduro is no saint. Okay, and those of you who are, you're telling him leave Maduro alone, and then I wonder. I keep saying to David, so what is Guyana supposed to say? I'm not in agreement for Trump getting involved, but I'm saying, but at the same time, would that help Guyana? Guyana is us. Will that help them to be a little more at peace? Because he keeps bullying. Maduro has bullied Guyana. That's the problem.
And the rest of his neighbors. And the rest of his neighbors.
There you go. And nobody, I don't even know about the rest of them. I'm talking about Guyana that I know of. And I'm saying that we don't hear, we're not flooding our timelines with that. We're not flooding our timelines with that. We're always
but in addition to that, Marcia, what are the CARICOM leaders doing to ensure the preservation of this zone of peace? I don't see them saying we demand a meeting with President Trump. We demand a meeting with the Secretary of State. Tell us what is this information that you're acting on. We want to meet with you collectively. Tell us what's this information you're acting on that is leading you to block these boats. We want to meet with you. Okay, it might be national security, it might be classified information, whatever. They can meet with the Secretary of State as a body. And let them brief them. CARICOM, they're lazy. They're lazy. They're not active. They could stop this, potentially. They could, or bring about some sort of resolution that is best for the region. But they just sit down home talking about we want a zone of peace, and me and Martley giving some speech. Get proactive. Demand a meeting with President Trump. Call a meeting at the OAS. Do everything. Demand the United Nations. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah, but talking and signing documents and so on. And that's what, and I have been saying that on the show all the time. Nobody is thinking about what's happening to Guyana. I will always ask, what is CARICOM doing about what is happening in Guyana at that particular time? I was talking about the race relations. That I think that if it's not dealt with, Mr. Burke, we can get into a civil unrest in Guyana over race. And I'm saying the very CARICOM offices in Guyana, and there's nothing. They have nothing to say. All that happens, our prime minister flies down there in her jet and she eats her curry and they put her up in a nice place and she comes back. She's friends with the president and that's about it. They don't care if the rest of the Guyanese kill off each other inside there. So what's the point of this CARICOM business? What's the point?
Non-intervention.
It's a non-intervention. And I'm serious.
I guess that's what non-intervention means.
You know, it is a complex thing, and I wanted us, you know, in the region to stop and think. And even, you know, I've been thinking, Mr. Burke, Kamala, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, she has a national interest, you see? And whether we believe, some of us might not believe that it's a real national interest, but people want her to abandon that, and because she didn't abandon it and go with CARICOM, then she's some villain, and they're doing all kind of social media stuff. When you think though, have you listened to what the vice president of Venezuela has had to say to the Prime Minister of Trinidad? And think, for me, viewers and Mr. Burke, if it were the other way around, can you imagine if Kamala had come out and declared that they are person non grata and called them all kinds of names? And if she was doing that, you know how we would run out on Kamala?
Well, that's the issue. No, as I said earlier, I don't agree with everything the Prime Minister of Trinidad says, but I want to look at it from the Trinidad perspective because I have a unique perspective as a Guyanese and our own national experience. Now, what the Prime Minister of Trinidad is saying, we have a lot of crime in Trinidad. It's scary when you see what goes on in Trinidad. Every day they're just bravely, they're gun down people in the police station. Now, what the Prime Minister is saying is that some of this weaponry comes from Venezuela. She's also saying we have a lot of Venezuelans who are in our country illegally. We can't regulate them. We don't know where some of them are, and we don't know who they are. So it is in our interest now, if we want to solve this crime problem, because our intelligence is saying that a contributing factor to this crime problem, both in terms of the humans involved in committing crimes and the weaponry come from Venezuela. What do we expect Trinidad to do? Stay and allow their people to be killed? What is the same thing in Guyana right now? The Guyana government has now saying every foreigner in the country has to come forward and get registered, which is stupid. If Maduro got some agents in Essequibo, you think they're going to come forward? And one of the major problems we have in Guyana is that the Guyana government invited and allowed some of these people to come into Guyana unchecked. And we have over 80,000 Venezuelans in Guyana living all over the country.
80,000?
They don't know. 80,000, yeah. They don't know. Some people said the numbers are higher than that. They don't know who these people are. We are sure that some of these people are Maduro agents. And now we have to think, is he going to unleash these people and they'll be throwing bombs all over the country to destabilize the country as a retaliation for the US government? Military buildup on the doors? We don't know. And so these countries, these governments have to protect their people. And they'll have to implement policies that some people in the rest of the Caribbean might not agree with. But those other CARICOM nations are not facing the peril that we're facing in Guyana and probably Trinidad as well. I can speak for Guyana, I can't speak for Trinidad. But we don't know if there are 100 other terrorist bombers who are sleeper cells, who are Maduro agents, waiting to unleash bombs on Guyanese. We don't know. They're brave enough to saw off people's head. These Venezuelans are violent in Guyana. They get into conflict and they go to kill you. Yes, go and do the research. There was a gentleman at Perico who had a conflict with a Venezuelan, and he pulled out a chainsaw and started to saw off the man's head. That's how violent they are. In the Essequibo region where I'm from, there are these, they call them sindicatos, they're gangs, Venezuelan gang members. They're heavily armed. They are more heavily armed than the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defense Force. And they go to these stores. Yeah, they go to stores and miners and take away their gold, rob them of their money and the shops, like the supermarkets in the hinterland. They go and rob the people of their money. Go to the landings where people go and catch the boat and stick them up with these big guns and take away their money and their gold. The regional chairman for Region Number 7, you know, just like we have states in the United States, we have regions in Guyana, and instead of governor, we say chairman. The regional chairman for Region 7, well, the former regional chairman, we had new elections and there's a new chairman. He told me that he was traveling up the Coyote River with his bodyguards and everybody, and these syndicato gang members stopped them. So he's the chairman. He's the official government representative in the region. He's traveling with police, bodyguard, and other government officials. And these Venezuelans stopped him at the checkpoint in Guyana. In Guyana. So what are we supposed to do? Say and sit quietly and say, yeah, we like peace, and allow Venezuela to overrun our country? No.
Somebody's asking, what proof do you have that some of these issues, maladies that are happening in Trinidad and in Guyana are coming from the Venezuelan people? That's what they're asking. For example, that the video that we showed, where I don't know, Square Force saw that one, where it is being said reported that it was Venezuelan who had come into the country just a few days before. Am I right, Mr. Burke, that took the bomb to the gas station? You can fill in for me. Go right ahead.
What was the question? How do we know they're Venezuelans?
Yeah.
How do we know we're Guyanese? These people have identification as Venezuelans. What are they, Russians? On what basis the person is contesting whether or not they're Venezuelans? They have another theory. People don't go out and just say he's a Venezuelan. You know, these things are investigated and these people are identified. Some of them come into Ghana and they're registered as Venezuelans because they're suffering hardships and they're refugees. And under the international treaties, if someone comes to your country as a humanitarian a refugee, you have to take them in. But you have to make sure that you investigate who they are, register them, and have the ability to monitor them. And that's what was missing in Guyana. And they're now trying to do that. We don't think they'll be able to find everybody. And we don't think everybody is going to identify themselves as, hey, I'm a Maduro person, I'm here to bomb you. No, you have to find out who these people are, get the help of Interpol or whatever it is, whatever international institution it is, to find out if these people served in the Venezuelan army and expel them from the country. Yes, I'm not saying that you can't help with people who have humanitarian needs, but if they're there to cause disruption and to destabilize our country, and as military assets who are sleeper cells waiting for Venezuela to attack so that they could get into gear to support that aggression, then we ought to find out who they are.
Yes. Well, actually, there's a letter that Dave has in his WhatsApp that came in today. And this is, I don't know if you saw this, this is from Trinidad. And it appears from that letter that Trinidad is now going to be deporting some of the Venezuelans. And people are there's just an outcry about it. And people thinking, here is the Prime Minister of Trinidad again, fighting against the Venezuelans. But when you hear what has happened and just seen, those of you who saw the video of the bomb attack in Guyana, where it's being reported that it is it's a group of Venezuelans and they were supported by local people as well, citizens, Guyanese citizens as well, in this bomb attack, then probably we might think a little differently as to why Kamala would want to send them back to Venezuela. Obviously, I don't know if it's the right timing. I don't know. That's why we say sometimes some of the things that she does, but I understand it to some extent. What about you, Rickford? Dave, can you put that up for us, please? The letter.
I saw it. I would want to comment on Trinidad's national security policy. I don't know the basis for the decisions making they make it the basis for their decisions in Trinidad. What I would say that as a CARICOM people, we should be compassionate, and whenever there's a need based on humanitarian circumstances, we must facilitate people. That's the most I could say. That's in keeping with international conventions on human rights and refugees. And I would advise all CARICOM countries to adhere to those conventions, which they all signed on to. But beyond that, in terms of that memorandum to the security forces in Trinidad, I don't have a basis on which I can make a comment.
Yeah, but let me ask you then, based on what would have just happened in Guyana with the bombing by a Venezuelan and all the atrocities that you are reporting that may have happened by Venezuelans, which you said it's easy to recognize that these are Venezuelans. Do you think that they need to begin to, do something in terms of, because you have 80,000 migrants there from Venezuela? Do you think that they need to put some stricter policies in place in terms of receiving Venezuelans, or regularizing the Venezuelans that are there that are not documented? Do you think they need to do any tweaking to their immigration policy in Guyana re Venezuelans?
Well, first of all, the government of Guyana engaged in a reckless practice. Like I said, they almost invited these Venezuelans to come to Guyana, and they allowed them to come unchecked. And that the reason is because they wanted them to vote for them in the last elections. So thousands of them were given voter ID cards and allowed to vote, so as to bolster the government's electoral prospects. And now it's coming back to haunt them. What should happen? They should not be allowed to vote, but the government allowed them to vote. What should happen is that wherever the government designated as an entry point, they should have them enter there. It's almost impossible to secure the borders, but they should have military people patrolling and checking these people, and when they find them, pick them up and either send them back or have them registered. Now, when they register, either you send them to designated areas where they can begin to a livelihood, but you have them registered, you have monitors, you have police monitoring them so that you know who they are. If you can't establish who some of these people are, have a process by which international agencies can help identify them. These people must have ID. If you don't have ID, a Venezuelan ID, to tell Guyanese authorities who you are, you can't enter. They have to be able to control these people. If it's a humanitarian situation, you have to have your ID. If you don't have an ID, a Venezuelan ID, and you're coming because of humanitarian circumstances, then we can't take you, because we have to know who you are. And that's fundamental. Now I see the government saying everybody in Guyana must be registered and have a digital ID. I see the Minister of Home Affairs announced that yesterday, and they're saying that non-Guyanese residents will have a card that's a non-citizen card. But it's too late. I don't think you can find all of these people. And if you find them, how do you know who they are? But they're already in the country, and the government doesn't have the facilities to hold these people. Now, I am not saying you must treat them badly. I want to make sure I say that. I want people to be treated humanely and with respect, and their human dignity should be respected. What I want to see is that they must be registered. There must be an investigation on all of them with the assistance of the international community so that we know who they are. They must present a Venezuelan ID so that we know who they are. If they were in the military, they must be honest, and they must present their military information to the government, and let the government determine whether or not their situation is genuine, or their intelligence agents coming to infiltrate our country. But we don't have that right now, and the government of Guyana must take full responsibility, because they allow these people to come. They even changed the law to say any Venezuelan could come to Guyana and go and present themselves to JP, claim that they have Guyanese heritage, and get a Guyanese birth certificate. Unheard of.
Wow.
Unheard of. But they did all of that to prepare themselves to cheat in this last elections on September 12th. And now we have this big problem, and they must take responsibility for all these Venezuelans who are in Guyana.
Barbados, I wonder if you're listening. Anybody's seen any correlation here, and you connect any dots here, guys? Anybody see what is happening? Think about this. I want you all to think about what just happened October 1st and what we've been saying to you on the show, right? Because there is a time when story going to come to bump, and then look at what happened. They won the election, but now they just had a bombing just a few days in Guyana. Now the people are afraid. Everybody coming together, regardless of the party. Now they're worried because there's so many. I think there was a woman who, I don't know what she did but caused the bomb. I don't know if she intercepted. I don't know what she did, but she's been hailed as a hero because they're saying more people could have died. So everybody.
Yeah, she's a gas station attendant, and based on the security footage we saw, she was sitting right at the pump. I guess she's an attendant, right? So when you go to buy a gas, she would pump the gas for you. At least I think that's what she does. But she was sitting at the pump, and there was a garbage recycle receptacle right there. And he came with this big black bag, and he was attempting to put it in. She's like, "You can't put that there. Go and put it somewhere else." And so he walked off from that. She was sitting at the pump. He was about to put that bomb at the gas pump. And then she told him he couldn't do it, and he walked off and threw it somewhere else and rested down by some propane tanks at the side of the gas station or something like that. Now, if he was allowed to place that bomb at the tank, it therefore means when it exploded, all the gas at the bottom of that tank would have exploded with it. And obviously it would have caused more devastation because that tank, there's an underground tank there with hundreds or probably thousands of gallons of gas, liters of gas.
So someone is asking, I can't find the person who is asking the question because I'm reading your questions as well, where they're asking you, Mr. Burke, how sure are you that these Venezuelans are connected to the Maduro government?
I've never said that they are. I said we need to know.
Yes, okay. But you're saying they are Venezuelans.
Of course they're Venezuelans. They're coming from Venezuela.
Yeah, because the report said that this particular person was in the blue shirt, that they came in only a couple of days, right?
Well, the police says that the interrogation found that they admitted to being Venezuelan and to coming into the country. But the police force is so corrupt. You have to take what they say with a grain of salt. But like I said, we know they're Venezuelans because they come from Venezuela and they identify themselves as Venezuelans. And some of them have ID cards proving that they're Venezuelans. So we're not making these statements willy-nilly without any basis.
Yeah. Just looking if anybody has any any more questions.
I have to at 9:30. I have to jump on another interview.
I know, but I just wanted to say that to you that this has been in my heart, and I've been saying it. Dave will tell you in my house all the time, and I'm saying I know if I come on here and saying they're gonna get me because everybody just hate Trump. So anything he's doing, but we don't sit down and look at the facts of a situation. We just get sometimes a bit emotional about it. But I am so grateful that you came on tonight. Anybody has any last burning questions?
And I want to say, this is not about Trump. This is not anything about supporting anything. This is about one, CARICOM's inconsistency. They have not been consistent in how they advocate for the zone of peace. They have neglected Guyana. They have sat silent while Venezuela attacked Guyana, while our soldiers are being attacked, while they've invaded Guyana. They have had incursions into our land. They enter waters and try to attack vessels in our waters, and CARICOM has done nothing. If you can't be fair in the way you advocate for this doctrine to be applicated, then shut up. But don't lecture us about peace when you sit idly by and allow Venezuela to conduct war on us.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Burks.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you, and we'll keep in touch. Yes. God bless.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you very much. Same to you.
Yes. Bye-bye. Wow, folks, that was challenging, a little challenging us a little bit in our thinking. But don't go, folks. I would love for you to call in. You've been typing in. I want you to call in. We're going to take the next 30 something minutes, and we want to talk about stuff at home. All right. We're asking the question: fondness or fear? Because Mr. Lashley says, Michael Lashley, who we saw on Sunday, was at the Barbados Labour Party conference, and he was being embraced by the party members, and he made a big entrance, and the media, you'd think that he was a celebrity. And they were all around him, and the prime minister was hugging him, and he was hugging her, and today, he says, listen, I wasn't, or yesterday, he said, I didn't, I've learned to be, because I'm now fond, I'm very fond of the prime minister. I've grown to be very fond of the prime minister, right? And so I want to hear from you. I want you to call the number 236-7000. And I want to hear your opinion. Do you think it is fondness or is it fear? Okay, so we're ready for you. Okay, so everybody start calling. I want to hear from you. Do you think, because you remember, I'm sure that you all remember, that there were, according to Mia Mottley, based on, we got this from the PAC report, that she was recommending very strongly, the committee, that there be investigation on Mr. Michael Lashley, or criminal and civil proceedings against him. The question is, did Mr. Lashley know about this? Did Mr. Lashley know about this? And if Mr. Lashley knew about this, knew that Miss Mottley was the person, chairing the PAC, what could have happened that he's become so fond of her and she's so fond of him? Did he have to do something, give something? What happened? Did he have to give up his BLP membership so that he's not investigated? Really? Well, we have a caller here. Caller, welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Hey, good night, Marcia.
Good night. Good night. Could you speak up a little for us?
Good night. How are you doing?
Doing great. Doing great. I wonder if we can hear him. Tell me if you can hear. Loud and clear. Go right ahead. It's a pleasure having you, sir.
Yeah, I think it's a pleasure, more or less, for the dear to have a wife like you with a head like yours, more or less, because your head goes on the right way, especially when it comes to this global warming and all this kind of different thing about cloud seeding and everything. You're dead on the ball.
Thank you, sir.
Apart from that, there, Mr. Lashley, Michael Lashley, and me is concerned. So nobody gives us a doubt. All of them in bed together. All of them in bed together, because at the last election, more or less, different how you realize different kind of way how they were carrying on each other differently. The point where they had to lose the election, while they had castigated the DLP, then they're talking about the last decade and all kind of thing.
Yes.
More or less, that kind of been how I think it was just in it. After he was charged and everything, more or less, that kind of carried on, and everybody figured, well, hey, yeah, to be them know that something's been wrong here,
Mm-hmm.
did wrong here. There's a lot of corruption. They had to put blame this one pointing fingers, but yet still nobody in come out and say, well, like, hey, the rest of these here, somebody else behind there, they feel like they should have been
Mm-hmm.
locked up or something, or been charged or something. Everybody else went on. Same the LP, not saying the LP or the LP, sorry, politics there. Never came out and apologized to the nation and such. Everything was quiet, and all of a sudden, now, you got Mr. Sinclair now, come on, he get big power, if we all remember. And now, Michael, all of a sudden, they're embracing Mr. Lashley. But between me, trusting Mr. Lashley or Michael Lashley is a fraud.
Yeah.
He is a fraud, trust me. Yeah? And we should beware, all of us should beware of that guy, Mr. Lashley, or Michael Lashley. So, I mean, he's representative or whatever, thing when it comes to criminal law or whatever. Everybody got to get at something or something or something. Like Mr. Lashley is a fraud. And they wouldn't be surprised. Or they wouldn't be surprised if he goes up and join the BLP more or less, or try to run on the BLP ticket more or less, or hold on to Mills for a deal just to get a position again, even although right now he's making millions of dollars. But why should he have to go in that direction more or less? Okay, or why should they want him to be some representative for now? When they can have a private set of people or whatever, different kind of way to invest in or give any talk or anything on crime. Why Lashley?
Why Lashley? So let me ask you, do you think that he really has a political career after this in Barbados?
More or less, he doesn't even care about the career as such, because as a lawyer, he have a career already. It is $1 million career, more or less, because he doesn't know that so long as this crime is work for him. He doesn't care about politics or anything. So a majority of those politicians, most of those lawyers turn politician after time. Most politicians are lawyers. So he doesn't care about the career, really.
Yeah. It's I mean, very, very interesting what you're saying there, that, well, I know that there are people in the Central North who said that he better not try to run because they're so disappointed in him. But the big question is whether or not he had to give up something so that he would not be investigated, because there's nothing. I mean, they were saying that he should either go to, it either be criminal and civil or both, right? Or either of those. So, why would they just drop the investigation like that?
Well, it is birds of a feather flock together, so they would all work out.
They would all work out. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, caller, for calling and sharing your viewpoint. Thank you.
You're welcome, and do keep up the good work. I know they're trying to stop the show, but they can't.
They can't stop it.
No, they can't stop.
Thank you, sir,
Okay.
for joining. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Yes. All right, folks. Again, it's your time. I've been talking for a long time tonight. Thank God Mr. Big Rick Berg came in and talked long too. But so we need you to call in. The number, the number. Come on, the number. We're going to put that number up again for you. And you know what we are talking about? We're asking, is it, this thing with Lashley? Really, what has happened? Is it fair, or is he's fond of the Prime Minister? He's all of a sudden became fond of the Prime Minister. When did he become fond of her? I remember he had a meeting in St. Philip here, and he was the one who shared that voice note with the Prime Minister cursing like a pirate in there, her with her potty mouth, huh? She was cursing like a fisherman, and he was sharing that. I remember he played it on a speaker. Right now, somebody out there is saying that his action is driven by spite. I mean, is it that he wanted to become the leader of? I don't know. Is it that he felt with with Thorn coming over, then he wouldn't be able to get a space or to do what he wanted? Is it jealousy? I don't know. Somebody's putting that in the mix there now. Let me read you what somebody sent to me while you all call in. Don't leave me out here talking by myself. When Michael Lashley speaks of his growing fondness for me and Motley, is he not really conveying a continuous fear of Motley? Given the request she made in her PAC report to have criminal or civil proceedings brought against him for his role as minister responsible for NHC, the same Motley branded him. It is said in Parliament. It was he's branded. I don't know why they brand him this way, but it was said in Parliament, and I'm just reporting it. The 10% man, right? And it was said in Parliament. So I don't know. The lawyer who's listening to me can tell me if I can say it. Why they call him the 10% man? Why it's alleged that Motley called him the 10% man in Parliament, right? Now, when these are taken into consideration, Lashley really sounds idiotic to talk about his growing fondness in spite of the 2018 rumblings with Motley. It would serve him well to keep his mouth shut because he's doing a far worse job in trying to defend himself than he has done in the law courts in defense of clients. Mr. Lashley's fondness and fear are not synonymous. Mr. Lashley, let me read that differently. Mr. Lashley, fondness and fear are not synonymous. Living with the fear of being prosecuted must be very uncomfortable. However, no one should have sympathy for Michael Lashley. The investigation should proceed and justice served. Let me read while I wait on you to call. Someone here is saying, okay, I have a caller. Yes. Good night, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Good evening, Marcia.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, I had a full day, girl. But I couldn't resist watching that guy there from Ghana. I would listen to him until midnight.
Oh my goodness. Is this Mr. David Gill?
He is so fluent and he is honest. You know,
Yes.
let me tell you something. Irfan Ali, that's his name?
Yes.
Kamala Prasad, Trump, none of them are my favorite people at all. But you have to call a spade a spade. Nobody could tell you how to determine your control of your borders or your internal security.
Mm-hmm.
You see how I'm reading it? The whole thing has backfired on Ali. He brought them in to help vote, pad the voters list.
Yes.
And now when a man works for you, you have to pay him. Now they're calling it is a payday. Mm-hmm. And he can't find the currency. And them fellas are very, very bellicose, very warlike. And you know, Marcia, from following sports over the years, you can determine that whether it is, and I'm going to say something that I ain't going to be too popular when I finish, but doesn't matter to me. You watching the sports over the years, whether it's Olympics or football, which people call it now soccer, but I call it football. You would see that these countries do not put their blacks out to play for them. Venezuela, what's the other one there? Venezuela, the Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina. They have a token black. Even Brazil at one stage. And I can tell you something too. Cuba ain't got a lot of likings or dealings for no black people. Huh? Tell me anytime maybe I'm bringing in a race ticket or card, but we got to be realistic. Tell me anytime you see a man looking like Sandyford or Louis Tell or Delisle Bradshaw or you might get one looking like Tom Allen or even David Denny being in their diplomatic corps. They're all olive skin, soft hair, Euro features. But you will see them doing weightlifting and cycling for Cuba. I was never bowled over by them. I lived, listen, Marcia, the nicest thing is to live in a cosmopolitan, metropolitan country. The other thing is, those who are lapping out, those Caribbean countries who are lapping out of the Chinese soup bowl cannot say anything contrary to China. They got to vote with China. They got to side with China. And that is what Germany was saying for the longest time. Thanks, but no thanks. I don't want any of your assistance. Yes, Germany really doesn't want it. Right? But these cannot sit down and man up. So you're not man enough at CARICOM to tell, it's all deceitful people. You're not man enough to sit down at CARICOM and tell Irfan Ali that, pronounce the name like the Guyanese, Irfan Ali, that he's wrong. That he's wrong. You're not treating black people properly. But now you want to tell him not to secure his borders. And I agree. I agree with the gentleman there. You have to cripple them. They're stronger than you are. And you cannot tell Miss Prasad Bisasar how to control her borders. This is her second time back there. And she knows, well, look, I could have failed last time. But I want to see Trinidad purged of certain behavior. Look at Andrew Holness. I like Holness. I don't get into the country politics like that. But Holness has taken a position among all the Jamaican leaders that I don't want any garrison politics. It is not benefiting Jamaica. If you come to me because you support me and you want contracts, no, go somewhere else. And he has told them that, and I took my hat off it. This is where we have to settle down and get firm. Here it is tonight, another murder in Chapman Lane. Yeah, another murder. Now we're talking about a zone of peace. None of these islands don't have a zone of peace, Marcy. There's a time I would. None of them, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, none of them. They do not have peace at home. They sweep it under the carpet. They're ashamed to talk about it. Mr. Sassar said, I want a zone of peace. I want it externally because I feel it has internally. Here is, you see people walking up and down Barbados buying gold. And they're coming from Latin America. We don't know who's a Venezuelan, from a Costa Rican, we don't know them. We don't know them. And you're exposing yourself. You're exposing yourself. And these are why the young people will not have lost a taste for voting. We must come first. Our people must come first.
Come first, yeah. As you're talking about the murders there in Trinidad, just in 2024, they had over 550 murders. We know of the thousands that have been killed. I was talking about in Haiti. Jamaica, though their murder rate, as you've been saying, is going down. There's 1,300 murders. So if we have blood flowing in our streets all throughout the Caribbean, what peace are we claiming?
Marcia, Jamaica has we have 300 and something thousand. They have 10 times more population, about 3 million. Your figure is late.
Yeah, about 3 million.
If you take Barbados, 552, multiply that by 10. Don't smug that 52 is happening there with If you augment the ratio 10, you're there.
Right. Exactly.
You're getting it that league. And Marcia, what really, there was a time you could get in your car and you've got visitors, you've got friends, or you just feel like lying and you could go to Baxter's Road and have a meal and sit and listen to some music during the crop over and have a beer. And I was caught in Baxter's Road many wee hours in the morning, so early that the papers were out, and you read them. You read the paper at Collins or one of our Young's bar. Mm-hmm. I would not be caught dead. I feel safer in the streets of London than I do in the streets of Broad Street, Baxter's Road at night. Right. And you know what? I thought that I was probably a little going wacky. But I met a good friend of mine who was a retired officer in the regional security. And she went to England early on. I should not have stated the gender, but so she went to England earlier on in the year, late last year. And she told me it was the first time, and certainly it's not the last time. I said, so how did you feel? Did you feel safer in London? Now, this is a security person. Then you feel in Barbados? She paused. She said, you want me to tell you the truth? I said, you've always been truthful. She said, I felt way safer in London than in Broad Street, in Bridgetown.
Wow.
And this is a security person, a regional security person, retired. We've got to get it right. You're the kind of numbers that you have in England, 80,000. That's the numbers that the Prime Minister says she wants.
That she wants. And I mean, well, when you heard what he was saying,
them from to come and do what?
Yeah, but you heard. I mean, they could go to any of these countries, and they become citizens because you have the citizen by investment. If they have that amount of money, and then they could come here, and in 6 months they could get Venezuelans could become Barbadians. And if they're good Venezuelans and not into crime and so on, it's good.
People, good and bad priests, good and bad doctors, good and bad nurses, good and bad white people, good and bad black people, good and bad Chinese. You're not going down that route. But you're not going to go there and chance. Bajans go in and lock up in their houses when they leave work, they head to their homes and they go in and they're scared as hell to come back out. They're scared as hell to come back out. And every other house has on a camera.
Yeah.
Every other house has on camera. There are people longing to see the morning star. I know a lady, she's now gone to the great beyond, that she told me about 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago. When she hears the 4:30 news, she was living alone, her daughter would come and visit her. She says, I start back, looking back and coming forward. Just leave my bedroom window and the one in the drawing room above my head open. And that is 6-7 years ago. Marcy, you know what changed my mind? That shooting in Wellington Street, where blood poured, and I saw you there. You went down in there.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got another kind of killing, where young people are pursuing young people and shooting them in the road, and they're dropping in the gutter like dogs. We are not accustomed to this night.
Yeah.
But I will speak to the other issue if you give me time.
So we'll take another 2 minutes. Take another 2 minutes, and let's talk about Lashley.
I could get it in 2 minutes.
Yes, go right ahead.
You follow cricket?
A little bit.
I don't use cricket in parlance, and the Lashley, Thorne, Mottley, Sada. I know all of them. I work with all of them. But what I'm going to say here now is Miss Mottley had an opportunity last year. What she did now, taking Lashley to conference, she should have done last year. It is like a captain failing to enforce the follow on. She should have taken him there, and then when the Dems president of the youth arm resigned or walked away, and when the high-ranking, like Ms. Whitaker and those walked away, if she had brought it, as Bajan, the old Bajan, what people tell it would have been federation in town. But she allowed Mr. Thorne to get in there, and he graphed, use the word graph, like Chanda Paul and Logie. Not Logie, Chanda Paul and what's the other guy from Trinidad? His name slipped me right now.
I don't
get in
know.
there
I don't know.
And graphed. They graphed it, and they built runs. Mr. Thorne has controlled Parliament. He is the most popular in Parliament since budget. He spoke for 2 days. They didn't want to hear it. He attacked every ministry. Mr. Thorne has cleverly carried out the accounts, the PAC duties on the floor of Parliament.
That's true.
And then you got two in the Senate who are grafting and holding their own. Mr. Thorne has been forcing the ruling party to take back that legislation. It is not good legislation. It is against the principle of proportionality. It is against, and he revels in showing you it is unconstitutional. So much so that I'm beginning to think that he was the man who gave the final nod. And we've always had people like him in the Barbados Labour and the Democratic Labour Party who turn up on Monday nights, the parliamentary group meeting, and say, no, this cannot go. This legislation cannot go. And I won't be bringing any tears out of school because all dead except Mr. Toppin. I remember when Mr. Toppin had that beautiful legislation, the Companies Act, the new Companies Act to bring. It was people like Johnny Cheltenham and Henry Ford and Bridget. I tell him, no, talks it ain't ready. It isn't ready. We got to dig further and further. One like Toppin says, man, if you want my ministry, I can have it. And the prime minister said, Tops, don't be a boy. This is serious business. You see, so Mr. Thorne has come out now. He's at a position that had she enforced the follow-on back then, he would have. I don't know. He would have been. The team would have been boiled out for spit, as we say. But he is in there now, and he is putting them in to bat. And I think he's being first in his league. Mm-hmm. So holding back, Mr. Lashley, reminds me of when you're a little boy on fireworks. You go out the 6th of November, and you find a bomb. Mm-hmm. That the fireworks bomb in some grass. It rear overnight, and you try to explode it. We used to say it fizz. So this fizz, and I don't think Mr. Lashley, my friend, Mr. Lashley, I could get him now on WhatsApp if I had a matter to same for Mr. Thorne. So I am seeing it not as a friend or a disgruntled B or a disgruntled D or anything. I'm calling it as it is. Marcia, have a good night, and always a pleasure speaking.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I was enjoying listening to you.
God bless.
I forgot about the 2 minutes. Thank you so much.
God bless Marcia Streets. No other individual who would do what you're doing.
Well, you know what? Thank you for calling all the callers, and we really do this as a team. Do you know my phone? People actually send me the topics that I need to research, and I need to do. So really, if we do it, I see it as a team effort because, unless they send me, I don't know what to do. Huh?
You could have chosen a better name than the loyal opposite.
Well, and again, the name came from the people. I didn't choose that name. Okay. That's why I tell you it's a team thing.
Mr. Thorne has won that section from last budget day until now.
Yes.
He has commanded the respect.
Commanded, yes. And people look out for what he's going to say. Correct.
Of course.
He's doing a great job.
Fella. He's a decent fella. I endorse him. He's a decent fella.
Decent guy, yes. And that's it. The opposition is getting stronger and stronger. And
stronger and stronger.
Yes, and that's what we are all about. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Have a good night.
Yes. God bless. Yes. Bye bye.
Good.
Yeah. All right. So the phone is free, but that was a good one, guys. That was a good one. This guy that was shot. Somehow I feel like I know him. Inches. I feel like I know him from the dance fest. Why do I feel I just feel like I know him. The name is coming back to me. Adrian Hines says, Mottley said that Ralph does, Mr. Thorne does foolishness on Tuesdays. What the hungry fox said about the grapes, it couldn't reach. Somehow he knew they were sour. Mr. Thorne is doing an extremely good job in the House of Assembly. Listen, you're all writing all these things, and then the people go and curse me and say, I am DLP. I'm serious because I support the opposition leader. I'm DLP. Mr. Thorne was not around when me at 1:30 Love when people was locked down. Okay. So I'm not sure what Tanisha was saying about that. You're saying he should have crossed earlier? You would have wanted him to cross early? Yeah, Ryan Rock. I just believe that you get these out. I mean, they have done such a terrible job. They, all of what they've promised. One of these nights, not nights, over series. I have this series to do, guys, but I need your help. The BLP manifesto. We want to take the 2018 to 2022. We started, and we stopped. We wanted to look at the BLP manifesto, which we need to. Because now you hear that, what did you all hear about the election in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where Gonzalez is going for a 6th term, and he's part of that Labour Party. And you notice how they categorize themselves here in Barbados, and Labour. Labour is in Dominica, Labour in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Labour in Barbados. I don't know where else have this Labour Party, right? And so that is what they are. And they have these people working with them, Peter Wickham, and they have the other one. I can't remember his name right now, and the Chinese one, right? And they're working together to make sure that they win these elections. Yes, Kim Tay, you're very late to the show. We're closing off in 4 minutes. Yes, another young man is gone. Another young man was shot in this zone of peace that we have in the Caribbean. We're in this zone of peace, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, they're going to try everything, Hurricane. They're going to try everything to win that election. Yeah. Somebody said that they're a fan of Thorne in the house, and they are also a fan of Maxine McLean. Yes, and she will be back on. I know the local thing tonight we were dealing with was Mr. Lashley, and I know she doesn't want to get into those kinds of things. All right, so we don't have her on for that, but she'll be back on very soon. Hello, good night to the last caller. Welcome to the Marcy Rich Show.
Good night. How are you?
I am doing great. It's good to have you. Your first time calling?
I didn't know.
Is this your first time calling the Marcy Rich Show?
No.
Well, yes, well, still welcome. You're listening to your device.
I was listening to you tonight.
Yes, sir.
With Mr. Wickfordberg.
Yes, sir.
And listen to him. It opened a new dimension on the Caribbean to me. Because I was simply, most of us in the Caribbean had one idea of this zone of peace. And Mr. Bird came on and explored a whole different scenario. It then made me feel, or let me say, it then made me cast my mind back to the present situation with the Israelis and the Gazans. And here we are in the Caribbean, feeling safe and sound, only to realize that we are actually naked, not naked in the sense of having no clothes, but that we are not in a position to defend ourselves. When I heard him talk about the Guyana situation and the Venezuelans, I am sure that 8 out of 10 persons never saw it that way.
Yes.
We always thought that it was the Venezuelans under Maduro who wanted to control Guyana. But we never knew that Venezuela had already making an incursion onto Guyana property and had a bridge built from Venezuela to this place as easy access to Venezuelans, and that they actually control that section of Guyana. We never knew that.
Right.
But when we listened and we heard that yesterday, about this bomb at the gas station. And we were wondering who could put or who would want to put the bomb at a gas station? But like that. And then to realize now that it is, let me say, alleged to be a Venezuelan. You know what that is telling Guyana? They don't have no defense. They don't have any defense to protect themselves.
Yes.
Suppose there were 5 persons targeting 5 gas stations.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? They don't have anything to protect themselves. And the whole Caribbean is like that. The whole Caribbean is like that. Trinidad is in that same position. Now, I am not really a fan of Miss SSR. But the fact that she came out and said what she said, but I never thought that was the situation in Trinidad.
Yeah.
But no, Trinidad is only a few miles from Venezuela.
Correct.
And they could move back and forth from one another with ease. And suppose the same thing happened in Trinidad.
I think that's why probably one of the reasons Kamala is now cracking down on the Venezuelans that are not documented.
I can say that she has all written. Actually, you would not like anyone to come at your place and dictate to you what happened at your house. Would you?
That's true.
Can't come. But when we heard her first, we did not realize that was the situation. Now it extended here now that we may very well face that situation with our Prime Minister offering free movement to people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Would we know who they are?
That's a big question. That's a big question.
Know who they are?
That's a $1 million question. But would you believe it's 10:03 p.m.? Because you're talking so sweet. I was even taking some notes there. I look up and realize it's 10:03, so you got 1 more minute.
Okay, but so let me say this.
Yes, sir.
Years ago, the former Minister of Education, Mr. Mark Jones, made the same comment that Barbados needs additional people if it really wanted to go further in development. But Mr. Jones did not spell out in detail what he made a statement. And I would say that he had very good grounds for making a statement. So the Prime Minister come now and said the same thing. But what Mr. Jones had asked Barbadians to do the increase in population themselves, she has asked others to come in. Now, I ain't got no problem with the other Caribbean, with the Caribbean nationals come in here because all of us go to all these areas that we have friends and everything. But you understand the problem that she is now exposing us.
Correct. That's the thing. That's the thing. Well, caller, I tell you, we've gone all way over time.
Okay.
No, and just thank you so much.
I will try and give you another call some other time.
Yes. Very nice talking to you. Really nice speaking to you.
Have a good night and be good.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay. Oh, that was a night. We had some lovely callers tonight. I love talking to you all, and especially when it's working. Technically, when it's working, it's a joy. It's really a joy when you call in, honestly. So we are going to be back again on Friday. Get some rest, guys. But this is exciting. We're learning. I'm learning a lot. I really am learning a lot. And we have to, while we're doing this, all of this regional stuff, we got to keep the local stuff going because, you know, I feel election coming up soon. So we can't come off of we're going to need to review some of the things. I've gotten a message, somebody met somebody else that told me about reviewing that we're going too fast. So we're going to go back to some things. We're seeing the citizenship bill connecting with this that is happening in both Trinidad and in Guyana in terms of the Venezuelans. So we're going to bring all of that back and connect it all up, right? Yes, Adrian, we miss you on the program. Listen, we miss you on the program. I'm not ashamed to say we miss you on the program. You know, so please. Okay, please come. And don't let me have to come up in Connecticut for you, wherever you live. All right. Okay, folks. Good night. Thank you, Dave, so much. Oh, goodness. Dave, I mean, we do this together, you all. And when I'm down, he's up. When I'm up, he's, whatever. We're there for each other. And he brings huge support. Thank you, Dave. God bless you. Thank you. Thanks to everybody. Ernesto will be disappointed in me tonight. What I did wrong. Pedro, you have to message me and tell me what I did wrong. We're going to be on tomorrow's Thursday at 11. We're going to continue. Oh, yes, I know why you say that. I know why you say that, Pedro. He and I going to have it out tomorrow. So tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we're on again for the linking up the Caribbean, guys. There's a lot going on. Yeah. So bless you. I love you all, Barbados. Thanks for the care. Teroni, thank you for that wonderful call today. That you call and the information you left for me. I thank you. I love you all too. I really do. God bless you. Bye-bye. Love you, Barbados.
Blow and the sea getting rough. Lord, we're calling, 'cause the time is tough. Hurricane Melissa, she a rage outside, but you are the shelter where we can hide. The lightning flash and the thunder roll, but you're still the master of every soul. We lift our eyes to the hill and pray. Lord have mercy, keep us today. Lord have mercy in the storm tonight. Cover your people in your holy light. Melissa coming down, but we won't fear, 'cause we know, sweet Jesus, you're near. Hold we close through the pouring rain. Speak your peace and still the pain. Lord have mercy, keep we strong. Through this storm we'll sing your song. Roof might shake and the water rise, but faith still shine in our eyes. Every heart cry, oh Lord, be near. We trust in you, we have no fear. You calm the sea in Galilee, so calm this one for we plead. If you can still this storm back then, you can do it once more again. Lord have mercy in the storm tonight. Cover your people in your holy light. Melissa coming down, but we won't fear, 'cause we know, sweet Jesus, you're near. Hold we close through the pouring rain. Speak your peace and still the pain. Lord have mercy, keep we strong. Through this storm we'll sing your song. Jah, you reign above the thunder sound. Your mercy flow and trouble come down. Protect the children, the old, the weak. Your strength we tonight. Cover your people in your holy light. Melissa coming down, but we won't fear, cause we know, sweet Jesus, you're near. Hold we close through the pouring rain. Speak your peace and still the pain. Lord have mercy, keep we strong. Through this storm we'll sing your song. Oh, Lord.